Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, December 11th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Thursday night football, NFC South rivalry matchup, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some Thursday night football. Happy Thursday, everyone. One of the best running backs in the game, Bijan Robinson, and on the right, one of the best quarterbacks in 2025 and for the foreseeable future for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the Dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Obviously, I got the Doug Williams throwback since they are going with the creamsicles here today. We usually don't play the greatest, when we wear the throwback unis, but I have a good feeling that we're going to be able to bring it today. Obviously, we know the Falcons and the Saints have been eliminated, but again, the Panthers or the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South in 2025. We've won it 4 years in a row. We're going for our 5th NFC South crown, but again, injuries have been really tough, from not only the offensive line this season with all the different combinations that we've had to fill in, but not having Jalen McMillan all year, and he's finally coming back tonight. We finally get Mike Evans to come back. We got Bucky Irving to come back just a few games ago. And again, we're going to need to be able to play some kind of defense. And normally this team is a defensive first, type of team. But that side of the football, even with guys like Vita Vea up front, Levante David in the middle, and Antoine Winfield Jr. on the back end, you need more than 3 guys to give you consistent play. Now we know Jamel Dean and a few others have played great as well. But again, 3 or 4 guys out of 11 isn't going to cut it. And again, the last time Kirk Cousins played against Tampa Bay, he went off. So we definitely want a little bit of payback. And again, 7-6, 3-3 at home. And we got 2 matchups against the Panthers, 1 matchup against the Miami Dolphins, and then this matchup here. So this is a must-win game, and hopefully we can get the job done. Let's go, Bake. Looking good. And I definitely like the throwbacks in the white with the orange numbers with the, little, orangish red outline a little bit better. I think these ones are a little bit more swaggy. But again, we're going to be going with the creamsicles here today. And I'm so happy to have ME13. Mike Evans is back. The creamsicles are back. Godwin is back. And again, we love Levante David. Let's get it. Emeka Egbuka has had some drops. He's going to need to make up for it. Tristan Wirfs, let's get it done. And I am ready for Antoine Winfield Jr. Let's get it, baby. And we're just about ready to get started here. So let's get situated with all the screens. 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions for Baker Mayfield. And again, I assume that he will be able to have a good night. The Falcons are going to be trying to play spoiler. But again, we got to be able to do everything in our power to get the job done on Thursday night football. All right, I think I'm all situated here. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. My boy. Baker clean shaven, looking ready to go. 94 subs away from 23,400. We're ready for that. And again, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war, no matter, who you go against, whether it be the Falcons, the Saints, or the Panthers. We're ready for the challenge. We know that we haven't been able to play our best ball in 2025 due to injuries. But again, we're starting to get, some of our guys back, and hopefully that'll be enough for us to be able to get the job done. Let's look at the injury report. They got Benjamin Morrison out with coach's decision. Tyke Smith, the safety, is going to be out, obviously, due to the neck, which is, really tough. No Cade Otton. It's kind of funny that, Cade Otton has been relatively healthy all year. And then when we finally get Mike Evans back and we get Godwin back and Bucky Irving, Otton now is out, go figure. But, we will see. JPP got re-signed just like Phillip Rivers obviously did for the Colts. We will wait and see in the future, what JPP can do. We've been definitely lacking a lot of pass rush this season. And again, I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup here tonight. Sarah in the building. What's good? Marine Bean in the building. What's good? And here we go. Falcons with the kickoff. Go, baby, go. Oh, decent return. There we go. And it's a battle of the throwbacks. Obviously, the Falcons wearing their throwbacks from the 80s. Obviously, with the black and red helmet. Very fire. A very clean look. And obviously, if it was my preference, this is our 50th year anniversary. I would have rather worn the white with the orange numbers. But again, at some point, you're going to have to debut the creamsicles, and hopefully we get that done. Zane Gonzalez kicks off 61 yards. Cameron Johnson with a nice 30-yard return. First down and 10 at the Tampa 34. Baker, hands off. Bucky, oh, baby, let's go. Let's go. First down, Buccaneers. Beautiful run there by Bucky Irving right out of the gates. Let's go, Bucky. Nice 11-yard run. Watson Bates with the coverage and the tackle. First down and 10 at the Tampa 45. Shotgun set. Baker, play action. Has to go with the check down. Bucky is there. And again, when we have Bucky Irving, we win games. When Bucky is injured, it's a lot tougher. And again, there is a reason why we drop so many games in the middle of the season. Nice screen pass there by Baker, avoiding the pressure. And again, the Falcons are trying to play spoiler. The Buccaneers are trying to go 4-0 in December, so that way that we can potentially find a way, or at least in these last 4 games, here against the Falcons. And you got the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Panthers. So again, it's a schedule that is somewhat winnable. But again, the way that we lost last week with that torrential downpour against the Saints definitely made me question a few things. Shotgun set, Baker. And batted down there by the Falcons. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Baker Mayfield incomplete to Mike Evans. London with the coverage and the bat down there. And again, it's great to be able to have Evans back. Obviously, I would love to have Cade Otton, our check down guy. But again, Godwin, Evans, Ibuka, Irving, Baker. We haven't been able to have this group all together all season. It feels good. Hand off to Bucky and bounces it to the outside. Short gain, 3rd down and long for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3rd down and 10 at the Atlanta 44. And again, Mike Evans is going to be on a limited snap count. So, we'll have to kind of wait and see on how many first down and 3rd down plays he gets to, try to convert for the Tampa Bay Bucs here tonight. Let's go, Baker. 3 wide receivers set. Audible at the line by Baker Mayfield. Shotgun set. Atlanta brings blitz and throw towards the sideline, incomplete. And that's going to turn into a punt there for Baker and Tampa Bay. And again, I do feel that we are going to be able to get some points on the board on the offense. Really, the defense has been kind of the letdown this season besides the injuries. Overall, the offensive line has been so banged up, as far as different combinations of guys having to come in. I think we have the 2nd highest out of any team out of all 32 teams, where I think we're in the top 2. So based off injuries and whatnot. So it definitely feels good to start to get back to a healthy Buccaneer team. Bucs with the punt. And nice. And a great special teams play. And we'll take that. Anytime you can end up pinning, a team back, within their own 5-yard line, we'll definitely take that. Great job there by not, touching the end zone. And Hayes ends up catching that ball. Love that. 0-0 here early between the Bucs and the Falcons. Oh, Bandit is doing well. And Riley Dixon with a great punt all the way down to the 2. And hopefully the defense will be able to get, a safety, an interception, a fumble, just something positive here moving forward. Let's go, Bake. We're going to need you. And the Bucs gang is ready to go. Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs, Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Levante David, and Bucky Irving. Squad. Let's go. Great to have you back, Mike. Great to have Chris Godwin back as well. Love you, Levante David. Let's get it, baby. And we know Abuka has had a lot more drops than expected. Obviously was on fire at the very beginning of the year, but definitely needs to get back to the basics. Hopefully he will. Tristan Wirfs, let's get it done. One of the best offensive linemen in the game, no doubt. And then again, on the back end, to make plays for the Buccaneers, Antoine Winfield Jr. Let's go, baby. Yeah. Paisley's already 4. And, it's crazy because we ended up getting, our pups relatively around the same time. And, Paisley's birthday obviously was a few months back. And, again, time flies, and again, weather has been a little crazy out in the Pacific Northwest, but it seems like a lot of the flooding and the extensive weather is starting to calm down momentarily. But again, you can't deny the love of a good pup. That's facts. I imagine Paisley will come drop in and say hello at some point before this game is up. 0-0 here early between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes. 100 on that dono train and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Thumbnail turned out good. And I was a little torn on, what jersey to wear and whatnot, but I figured I would go with the creamsicle theme, since they are wearing the creamsicles. And again, hopefully we can get some defense here today against our former old coach, Raheem Morris. Iron in the building. What's good? First down and 10. They give it to him at the 6 and not the 2. I don't know what that's about. And a good tackle there. Bijan Robinson with a minimal gain. And obviously it's Kirk Cousins there as quarterback instead of Michael Penix Jr. due to the injury. 3-2 record versus the Buccaneers. 334 passing yards per game. 14 touchdowns and 2 picks. So obviously he's had some good success against us. Bijan Robinson for a 1-yard game. Yaya Diaby and Levante David with the tackle. Let's go, baby. 2nd down and 9 at the Atlanta 7. Second down and 9. Hand off to Bijan again. Tackle him. Wrap him up. And a big hit there, but not after he ends up getting the first down. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. I'm a Bucs fan and all. I think the white version of the jersey is a little bit, more appealing and whatnot, because obviously the creamsicles kind of remind you of Tennessee Volunteers in college. But I do like the throwback helmet and whatnot, but I think I would go with the white jerseys first and then the creamsicles second. But I do think they are, one of the top 5 throwbacks with, the Eagles, Seahawks, Patriots, and, some of the teams that are no longer around, like the Houston Oilers as well. Kirk with the floater wide open, and that's Pitts. First down, Falcons. And again, we need a pass rush, and that has been the bugaboo for the Buccaneer defense. And again, when you end up signing a guy like JPP that hasn't played football in years, that kind of tells you, even though he's not going to play today, how bad it's been for the defensive line up front besides Vita Vea. It's too early to really, see where it's going. Obviously, right now, the Rams and Seahawks look very, very good. So again, they have to be two of the favorites in the NFC. Same thing goes with the Broncos, Patriots, at the top there as well. And you can't, deny the Buffalo Bills on that third team on the outside looking in, even though they don't got a reliable defense. And, the Eagles are so up and down. They're like the Packers and the Bears and the Lions, and they're not as good as last year's team. Can things get better? When we go to the playoffs, maybe, but you definitely see some flaws in the Eagles this year. So, it could end up being, a defensive battle. Could end up being the Seahawks or Rams going against the Broncos or Patriots. You have to assume that those are the top four. But then I wouldn't rule out the Buffalo Bills. I like them a little bit more than the Eagles at this point. Wouldn't shock me one bit if the Bills come out of the AFC because Josh Allen is the man. 13-yard pass from Cousins to Pitts to get them the first down. And then Bijan getting another chance at it, going over to that right-hand side for a gain of a few. Second down and long for the Falcons. 4-yard run there by Bijan Robinson. Logan Hall with the tackle. Especially when the Chiefs were kind of their, bugaboo. It was like that one team that they couldn't beat. Now the Chiefs aren't very good this year, so now they just got to be able to try to beat the Patriots and the Broncos and a few others. Bijan with the screen. And again, as you can see, Falcons moving the ball very efficiently, even with Kirk Cousins. And this has been kind of the story for us. And we got a flag on the play. Hopefully that's holding on Atlanta. Jolly with a 20. Thank you so much, man. Nah, I feel you. You're a Panther fan. It's going to come down to either you or me. The Falcons and, the Saints are already eliminated, and we already lost last week. So we'll see where it goes. But I appreciate the support very, very much. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 20, 80 to go on the Dono train. And I really do appreciate the support within the last, few weeks since you've been able to come through a little bit more often. It really does mean everything. Things have been a little light, since baseball season ended. So it's always good to be able to get a little love and support from, the football fans, whether it be NFL or college football or both. Appreciate you, Jolly. Means everything. Thank you so much. First down and 10. Handoff towards that left side. Nice tackle there by the Bucs. Should be a close game, though. Should go down to the wire. Bijan coming back in after Algier. Gets a gain of a few. Tyler Algier there with a 3-yard gain. Vita Vea with a nice tackle. Second down and 7 at the Atlanta 46. And if there's anything that you want specifically photo-wise, Jolly, if you want Jay Jetta photos, I got you. If there's something else you want, Panther players, let me know and I got you. Hand off to Bijan, bouncing it to the outside. And a nice tackle there by a few of the Bucs. Third down and short. Nice 5-yard run by Bijan. Robinson. Logan Hall there with another tackle. Third down and 2 at the Tampa Bay 49. And again, we know that the Falcons are going to move the football, but we got to try to, get field goals for them, rather than, tutty after tutty, if we want to be able to try to compete. Third down and 2. Shotgun set. Handoff. And whistle is blown. Flag on the play. That's got to be on Atlanta. False start. There we go. Elijah Wilkinson, the guilty party, offensive tackle. I like that. Third down and 7 at the Atlanta 46. Yaya Diaby, I got you. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. We're at 20, 80 to go, and 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Uh-oh, another false start on the Falcons. Or is that on Tampa? That might have been on Tampa that time. Refs are discussing. Oh. And again, we have the Falcons and the Panthers, the Dolphins and the Panthers. It's going to be the Bucs or the Panthers in the playoffs. We're going for our 5th NFC South crown. The Panthers are trying to win the division for the first time in a long time. And again, Panthers defense is awesome. The Bucs, not so much. I think the Buccaneers offense a little bit better than the Panthers this year, especially if you look at our roster. But with that being said, Bryce Young has definitely taken some leaps. It also helps that you got Rico Dowdle playing well, and Tet McMillan has been good as well. And a delay of game, interesting. I thought it was a false start or offsides there, but it looks like play clock ended up going to 0. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down and 12 at the Atlanta 41. And if we can, end up getting some self-inflicted wounds with Kirk Cousins, that'll definitely help our chances. That man in the building, what's good? I love the throwback uni matchup. Cousins on 3rd and 12. There we go. Hang on to him. Good defense there. That's my boy. All right. Again, we weren't able to, move down, and move the chains on the first possession. And again, it feels good to be able to get a stop considering the offensive line injuries as well as just the defense in general have really hurt the team the most, as well as, skill position players, not being able to have Evans and Godwin, and now Kate Otten is out. And, I just want to be able to have a full complement offense for once in the season. And again, defense definitely needs to step up, and a great job there. 4-yard pass from Cousins to Sills. Ooh, fair caught, and he almost dropped it. And Bradley Pinion with that punt. Fair caught there by Cameron Johnson, even though he almost dropped it. 1st down and 10 at the Tampa Bay 17. Let's go, baby. Creamsicle is back. Let's get it. We need Ibuka to have a good game here tonight as well. And again, not having Wirfs against the Saints was really the deciding factor. And again, happy that he is back. Oh, Yaya Diaby there. Underrated 3rd-round pick. And I'll get you some Jetta photos as well. First down and 10 at the Tampa 17 once we come back from commercial break. Got to squeeze at least one Jetta in there for Jolly, favorite receiver in the game. And again, I think that Jetta is still going to be a lot of people's favorite receiver, even from a few years back and even now. Yeah, I'll get you some LSU Jetta. I got some here too as well. I got you. Swag. Hitting the gritty. Shotgun set for Baker. Falcons bring the blitz, and Baker gets popped and overthrown incomplete. And Baker's going to have to run in this game, based off the pressure. If they're going to be bringing blitzes on first, second, and third down, again, Baker, we know is one of the best runners in the game. For many, many years, it might have been Lamar Jackson. And obviously, we know Lamar is still a great runner, but the Ravens are obviously not the Ravens of old with all the injuries and, kind of the questionable play calling that they've had in coaching this season. But, Baker can definitely get the job done on the ground if needed. He is a dog. Man in motion on second down and 10. Handoff up the middle. And that is something that we definitely need to do early and often. And Bucky finally goes down. Looks like they kind of prematurely blew that whistle, but it is what it is. Things could change, though. I mean, if they end up, drafting another quarterback, if they don't believe that J.J. McCarthy can get the job done, or if they get another guy in free agency and then J.J. has an injury and you get someone better, kind of like with the whole Sam Darnold situation from last year, then, Jetta's numbers can kind of go back to what it was, with Kirk Cousins, as well as Sam Darnold. But again, I don't know if you're going to get that out of J.J. McCarthy. Baker on third down and 3. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And that's not what I want to see. Great defense there by the ATL, but there is a flag, and we will see if that's on Atlanta. Holding on the defense. Let's go. Let's go. Automatic first down. Move the chains. A.J. Terrell against Mike Evans, defensive holding. This is Mike's first game back. ME13. Love me some Mike Evans. And if you look at the skill position players for the Bucs, it's pretty sexy. But again, if the offensive line isn't healthy, you're not going to be able to get the most out of all of those, amazing players. Baker, nice handoff. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Go. Nice stiff arm. Go, Rashad. Go, Rashad. There we go. First down, Bucs. Nice run there by Rashad White. Nice counter. Especially when we have a three-headed horse, at running back with Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and with Tucker. I like all three of those guys, and all three give you a little bit something different. Rashad is a guy that's got a little bit of speed and power. Bucky is a poor man's Jahmyr Gibbs. He's got the skill set very similar to Jahmyr Gibbs, but Jahmyr is in a category of all his own, and we know that. And then obviously, with Tucker gives you, a little bit of that kind of make Mike Allstott, like Garrett Blunt kind of feel, where he's just going to run you over. And I like that as well. Hughes is down with the training staff for the Falcons, but finally comes to his feet, and hopefully he is okay. The Lattimore Evans, definitely some bad blood, And again, we know how competitive it typically is in the NFC South. So, we may not be one of the top divisions every year, and obviously this year we're one of the worst. But, with that being said, I feel, if the defense can show a little bit of flash, again, we could still win this division. And then obviously, your Panthers defense has been amazing. I'm jealous. I wish that the Buccaneers defense would play like the Panther defense lately. But, again, we'll see how it all plays out. And we got two matchups, this month. So it's definitely going to be very exciting. Nice 20-yard run there by Rashad White after Hughes got injured on the play. First down and 10 at the Tampa 49. Audible at the line by Baker Mayfield. Baker, hands off up the middle. And a minimal gain there. Bucky Irving with a gain of about 1 or 2. It's been a really weird season, being a Buck fan as well. I'm not used to seeing so many injuries with the skill position players, with all the big names. I'm not used to having all these injuries on the O-line, and then on top of that, I'm not used to seeing the defense be shitty for the most part, and we do have some dogs on defense. Vita Vea, Levante David, Antoine Winfield Jr. Those guys are awesome. Jamel Dean's had a good year, but, what about some of the other guys? They need to step up, the role players. And we definitely need to be drafting a pass rusher or two in this upcoming year. Throw to the sideline. There we go. Mike Evans, baby. First down, Bucs. Let's go. Baker Mayfield to Mike Evans. Let's go. Great to have you back, my guy. Squad. Tampa. Hey, let's go. Move the chains. First ballot Hall of Famer. And again, unfortunate that he's not going to be able to get his 1,000 yards, this season, which, he was, doing things that no other receiver has done besides Jerry Rice. That's good company. Baker going deep. He's got a man. Oh, overthrown and incomplete. Emeka Egbuka from the Ohio State University, the intended target. And again, he's got more drops on the team than anyone else, with 6 going into this game. So again, and some of the drops have been big, especially the one last week. If he would have caught that pass in the end zone, we would have beat the Saints. So I know he's feeling a little bit of the pressure. First month of the season, it looked like he was going to run away with Rookie of the Year. We know Warren for the Colts and a few others have, definitely stepped up, and Egbuka is a stud. He just needs to play within himself. Second down and 10. Baker looking. Get out of there, Baker. Got to get rid of that football. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Pierce Jr. with the sack lunch. And again, Baker's athletic, but again, it's not like we have a fully healthy offensive line. And even if we did, you can't hang on to the ball for, 4, 5, 6 seconds. Even shitty defenses, are going to get to you at some point or another. Nice job there by James Pierce Jr. with the sack, the linebacker for the Falcons. Third down and 15 at the Atlanta 43. Yeah, and that might end up being the case this year, where the Panthers or the Bucs might make it, going 9-8. Shotgun set on third down and 15. Baker, nice missile. There we go. Egbuka, first down, Bucs. But that might be offensive pass interference, as the Falcon players are pointing at him and the Buccaneer players are pointing at the Falcons. Let's see who this is on. Is this going to be on Egbuka? Oh, it's on the Falcons. Let's go. I need to see a replay to see if it actually was the right call or not. Let's go. Terrell, obviously we know normally is a stud. He already has one on Mike Evans. And let's see if he ends up grabbing. Oh, yeah. Grabs him, falls down. And I did see him fall down on the corner of my eye. So I was like, uh-oh, maybe he pushed off. But he grabbed, and A.J. Terrell fell down. We'll take that. 23-yard pass from Baker to Egbuka. First down, Buccaneers. Move the chains. Let's go. Bake. And I got the throwback Doug Williams. Had to represent here today. Nice pass. Let's go. And Jalen McMillan has been out the whole year. Obviously in preseason, ended up having a neck injury. Oh, let's go. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Jalen McMillan, obviously out the whole year and ends up getting potentially a tutty. We'll see if they review this, and he might be down at the 6-inch yard line or the 1, but let's see in this replay here. Wow, very close. I mean, I don't mind either way, but it would be kind of cool if McMillan actually gets credit for the tutty there, since he's been out the whole year. And again, he played great when Godwin was out last year. And the reason that we picked McMillan from the Huskies, is to take over Godwin's role. Egbuka for Evans, because we know Evans and Godwin are going to be gone due to, retiring, pretty soon. And again, we definitely have, reloaded and retooled for Baker Mayfield. And again, just awesome to be able to see. I'm not sure if this is going to hold up, but, great job by Jalen McMillan. And again, I wasn't really expecting, I knew that they were going to target him, pretty heavy, at some point in this game, not only with him, but with Mike Evans, and again, Baker is that guy. He's going to want to really try to be able to get guys involved. especially if they've been injured and they're finally coming back to the team. And, I feel that if we did have McMillan from the very start, then we probably would have at least another win or two. He makes that much of an impact. And again, we are going to a commercial break, and then they will review, and we will find out, if that ends up standing as well. And we also got Tez Johnson. It's like we got plenty of guys. Yeah, believe it or not, Trey Palmer is on the Saints. He got picked up on the waiver wire in August. So he ended up going to the rival. All right, touchdown is overturned, which is the correct call, more than likely. I mean, it was very, very close. I was really hoping that, Jalen was going to get it just for his first game of the year, and we're in December, so it shows you how serious that neck injury with the spine was when he got, kind of put down on his neck and head in preseason. But we're going to have first and goal at the 1, and I assume that this will be either a QB sneak by Baker or a handoff to Bucky Irving for a touchdown, which will be the most likely scenario. Things happen, it's kind of the timing of it was kind of poor too with like all of the recruiting, and the signing days and whatnot. So, and it's not like he's the only one, that, has probably done something like that, in the college game. He's just one of those guys that got caught. First and goal, Tucker is in. But they're going back shoulder fade to Mike Evans. Oh, incomplete. So they're going from one guy that was injured to another guy that was injured. And again, trying to get Mike Evans the ball early and often for a tutty. And just misses it there. Second down and goal at the 1. Yeah, but that doesn't really, the people that cheat, whether you're, a girlfriend, boyfriend, or married, I mean, it's kind of one of those things, sad to say, it's pretty common. It's not really one of those things that's uncommon anymore. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Let's go. Sean Tucker, our halfback / fullback type of running back, or RB3, getting the tutty, and we'll take that. Vita Vea in the game for blocking up front, and you ain't stopping Vita Vea. Runs right behind Vita Vea, kind of like how they would use Sapp. Usually Sapp would line up at tight end and they would throw him the ball, but every once in a while they'd line him up as kind of like a fullback, for like Allstott, even though you don't really need anybody blocking for Allstott, but extra point is up and is good. Let's go, baby. 7-0 Buccaneers. Chase McLaughlin. Nice job. Yeah, the recruits are stuck. That's the main thing. They knew about it, and they should have released that information, but Michigan was so greedy, for based off those guys that, were recruited there. And if obviously they knew that information, some of those guys would have flipped, to Ohio State or other locations that they had deals. So we'll see. But it also could be a blessing in disguise, because he wasn't really that good of a coach anyways. He wasn't Harbaugh, right? So if they can end up, they're not going to get Lane Kiffin, because Lane Kiffin obviously just signed from Ole Miss to LSU, but again, you have to kind of wonder, who could it be? Could it be like a John Gruden? Could it be someone, maybe Fish, from Washington? There's going to be, a few big names that will be, there. And the Michigan job is a lucrative job, just like LSU. if you have the right coach and you recruit well, you could be a top 10 team in college football with LSU and Michigan. But if you're not, a top tier coach, then you're probably going to be in the top 25, but just not in the top 10. So 7-0 Buccaneers. I don't think he was a crappy coach, but again, obviously not on the same level as Harbaugh. But who is? Not very many. Nice touchdown there by Tucker. Great drive by the Buccaneers. And the Bucs kick off. Yeah, but they're definitely going to lose a lot of credibility about announcing it after signing day, where people are not going to even consider going there, unless they have history, with the school. But it might actually be a blessing in disguise, depending on who they get at coach. Or it could end up, turning their program in reverse and making it even worse for them, moving forward. McLaughlin, 65 yards with the touchback to the Atlanta 35. Hell yeah, we put Christmas lights on the ship, man. It's holiday season, baby. You know it. One of the best props in sports, the pirate ship inside the stadium. Hopefully one day I'll be able to visit Tampa and sit in there, fire off the cannon. Cousins, little play action. Check down, nice pass. First down, Falcons, in stride. Kirk Cousins looking like Kirk Cousins on the Vikings. That was beautiful. Nice job by Kyle Pitts. Obviously getting a few more looks because London is out. And look at that, in stride. Put that right on the breadbasket. Great throw, great catch. First down, Falcons. "26-yard pass from Cousins to Pitts. Jamel Dean with the tackle. I really love the Falcons unis as well with the red helmet. Definitely reminds me of the Falcons back in the 80s. Bijan Robinson bouncing off to that left side, but there's a flag on the play, maybe holding on Atlanta, I'm hoping. Bring it back, baby. 10-yard penalty. But, again, I think the cleanest version, of this would have been the Atlanta uniforms. Keep them exactly the way they are. And then if we would have wore these, then I think it would have been the cleanest, throwback look. And it's not like I think the orange is terrible, but again, not really anybody wears orange, and it kind of gives me, kind of that Tennessee Volunteer vibe, which isn't bad, but I think that the white definitely comes off as a little bit more icy and a little bit more clean. But I do like the history of the Buccaneers. This is our 50th year anniversary. Just like the Seattle Seahawks, we came in the same year in 1976. Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach for the Florida Gators, as our quarterback when we first started the franchise. Hand off to Bijan, bouncing it to the right side this time. No holding call for the Falcons O-line, so they can breathe a sigh of relief. And first down and 20 turns into second down and long. That's true. But one day you guys will, Bijan Robinson, 8-yard gain. Nick Jackson, the linebacker, with the tackle. Second down and 12 at the Tampa Bay 41. And that is the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Buccaneers. Let's go. All right, what else do you want to be able to see photo-wise? You want Jeddah, but LSU? See what I can find for you. And this is probably going to be the last time that you're going to see three, top 5 players at their position, on the same team with Burrow and obviously Jeddah and Jamar Chase. And obviously we know Burrow, if he's not careful, he's going to go down the path of Andrew Luck, because they don't really address the defense or the offensive line. And again, in a couple years, I hope not. I hope he doesn't walk away from the game early, Burrow. But again, if they don't start making some massive moves on the O-line to protect Burrow, as well as helping him out on the defensive side of the ball, it would be possible that, maybe he's not a Cincinnati Bengal for life and then he can go to another team. But again, the injury bug has definitely hit him, more times than not. But I will say this, a very likable football player. And again, one of the best quarterbacks in the game when he's healthy, and again, it's like you got Josh Allen and you got, Burrow and Lamar and many, many others. And, hopefully he won't go down that Andrew Luck path because, again, I kind of feel a little cheated as a fan. We wanted to be able to watch more Andrew Luck, but I totally respect his decision from walking away because when you have to rehab, year in and year out, and mentally it takes a toll. And again, you can love the game, but sometimes you can only take so much. But it's great to see Andrew involved in his college program for the Stanford Cardinal, on the sidelines and being in love with football again, because I do feel that he loved football when he was on the Colts. But then I think he got to a point where he hated football just based off the rehab process year in and year out. And now he's starting to love football again, which is great to see. But that offense was arguably one of the best offenses that we have ever seen, period. Burrow at quarterback, Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back, even though he hasn't really panned out, and then Jetta and Jamar Chase at wide receivers. What? That's crazy. Bijan with the screen pass and breaks the ankles of one Buccaneer. Come on, Bucks. But Bijan does those type of things. Third down. 7-yard pass from Cousins to Bijan Robinson. Antoine Winfield Jr. with the tackle. He ain't going to get his ankles broken. Let's go, baby. We need you to make plays. Let's go, Winfield. 3rd down and 5. Cousins with the laser. Nice catch. First down, Falcons. Move the chains as they have him surrounded by 4 Buccaneers. Sills with the catch. Nice hands there from Sills. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Flag on the play. False start. We'll take that. Self-inflicted wounds by the Falcons. And for once, the opposing team has more self-inflicted wounds than the Bucs. And again, a reason why that we got that 7-0 lead here early. 14 drives since the last touchdown. Last TD was week 13 at the Jets. Holy moly. I mean, imagine if Jetta had Josh Allen thrown to him. What kind of numbers he'd be putting up. He deserves better. Handoff, bouncing it to that left side, and a nice tackle there by the Bucs. Flag on the play again. Is this holding on the O-line again? Or is it on Tampa? Holding on the defense this time. Okay. Raheem Morris can finally clap after Chris Lindstrom had a hold. And Greg Gaines with the penalty that time with the defensive hold. Let's see what Gaines did here. What kind of hold are we doing? They call the holding on Gaines. Gaines was the one being held. What kind of call is that? Terrible call. First down and 10. Cousins. Pump fake, get his ass. And he throws it into the turf. Incomplete. Nice job by Levante David. Second down and 10 at the Tampa 19. Let's go, Bucks. Let's go, defense. We need you, baby. Second down and 10. Shotgun set. 4 wide receiver set for Cousins. Tipped. Oh, almost picked. Nice catch there. Sills again. Megan with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rax with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Megan with a $5. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I did see the Kraken win against the Kings in OT. Six-yard pass from Cousins to Sills. Third down and 4 at the Tampa 13. Come on, Bucks. Shotgun set. Tampa only bringing 4. Throw to the sideline, incomplete. And this is going to turn into a field goal attempt for the Falcons. I think really, what to get excited about, obviously, even though it's, a few weeks ahead, is going to be the Rams-Seahawks game. That's the one to really, get excited about. Obviously, when you have a chance to lose, those are the ones that mean the most when you win. And again, right now, the Rams and the Seahawks are probably the 2 best teams in the NFC, and both could make the NFC Championship game, and both could end up having a chance to make it to the Super Bowl this year. That's exciting. Wish I could say the same for my Buccaneers this year. Kick is up, and good. I don't dread games like that. I think, those are the games I look forward to as the most. Because again, when you know that you have a chance to lose, yeah, it will be painful if you lose. But if you end up winning, it really does send a statement, not only to the NFC West, but for, fans, all over the globe that, hey, the Rams might have been the projected team, to end up winning the division going into the year. And they definitely have been a top dog. Seattle definitely has been better than expected. And it definitely is going to bring that rivalry to a whole nother level, which is awesome. Can't wait to be able to see that Thursday night matchup. 5-yard penalty there on Zion McCollum, who struggled this year. Defensive offsides, and now it's going to be 1st and goal. Take the field goal off the board, and now the Falcons more than likely are going to score a touchdown. We know that the Broncos, Patriots, and Bills are legit, and the Rams and Seahawks, are at the top, which is awesome to see the NFC West represent. And going to Kyle Pitts, touchdown Falcons. Beautiful play call there by the ATL. And again, not a chance in hell that we were going to stop Pitts on that play. Cousins to Pitts, 8-yard tutty. And again, also, since Drake London is out, Pitts is going to be used a hell of a lot more. And you've already seen him get involved early in the action in this first half. Great throw there by Cousins. Extra point is up from Gonzalez, and it is good. We got a good one here, tied up at 7. Falcons and Buccaneers in the second quarter, 12-11 left in the second quarter as we go to a commercial break. Anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise? You want some JSN or some type of Seahawk representation on the channel? Let me know. Seven in a good one here between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. He's been really fun to watch this year. It's always cool to be able to see guys that are normally, going into the year, a top 15, top 20 wide receiver and, go all the way to the very top. And anytime you can, put up those type of numbers and be number one in yards, maybe not number one in touchdowns. Devontae Adams, I believe, has that particular stat, but we know how good JSN is, and he's only hitting the tip of the iceberg. He's going to get better and better and better. And there's going to be a point probably where he ends up leading the league in touchdowns. There's probably a pretty good chance. And, again, we know how good the Rams have been with Matthew Stafford, probably the MVP at quarterback this season, having, Puka Nacua, on top of Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams having a little bit of a rebirth in his career. But we know how great JSN has been. And again, NFC West representing with some amazing offense and defense. And that's the great thing about Seattle and the Rams. They're both really, really good on offense and defense. And we haven't seen that in quite a while. Well, hopefully you'll get payback on B, this time around, and then you'll be able to get a dub. Zane Gonzalez with the kick, 65 yards to a touchback to the Tampa 35. And let's see what the offense can do here with Baker Mayfield leading the charge. Let's go, Bake. Let's bring that electricity, baby. Let's go. Sarah with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rax with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Another $5 for Sarah. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do. If you want some Jonathan Taylor, or if you got someone else in mind that you want to represent for the Colts, let me know during commercial break, and I got you. First down and 10. 7-7 tie between the Falcons and the Bucks. Baker, hands off. There we go. And a nice run there by Bucky Irving. And again, it's like when you have so many options on offense, Bucky and Rashad White and Tucker, and now we got Evans and Godwin and McMillan and Ibuka. Really, the only one that's missing is Cade Otton. And obviously you got Tez on top of that as well. But since we have all these other guys back, that's the one guy that's going to be getting less looks. But again, did a fantastic job for us while all the other receivers were injured. Tyler Warren, I got you. Nice 9-yard run there by Bucky Irving. And again, when Bucky was, on the field, we know we have a good chance to win. When he was injured, it felt like it was going to be a hell of a lot tougher. Baker, where's the face mask? They called holding on the defense. Didn't get the face mask call, but automatic first down. AJ Terrell is just getting penalty after penalty after penalty on Ibuka, on Godwin now, and on Evans. Like, I thought AJ was one of the, he used to be one of the top dogs. What's going on here? Megan with another $5. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rax with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. And if there's someone else that you want to rep besides JSN on the channel, let me know. Like Sam Darnold, we can definitely throw him up as well. He's had a great year. Offensive line and defense has been so improved, and that's where you see the changes in the Hawk, overall philosophy, and it's great to see. Hand off to Tucker. Go, baby, go! And bounces it to the outside. Cross. All right, I got you. Nice 6-yard run there by Sean Tucker. Caden Ellis with the tackle. Second down and 4 at the Tampa 40. Tet McMillan broke him. And there's nothing he can do there. Come on, O-line. And again, we've gone through the second most substitutions between different options on the O-line this year, and that's why we're 7-6. I mean, if we had a little bit more continuity, with health on the O-line, I feel that we would have a few more wins at this point, but, yeah, Baker is a warrior. I mean, he's one of, he's one of the, funnest quarterbacks to watch in this league. And I couldn't think of a better guy that fits the personality of being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer than Baker. Pump fake. Baker, another pump fake. Down the field and complete. And no flag there. And 4th down and 8 at the Tampa Bay 36. Oh, flag comes out here late. Ineligible downfield. Of course, it's on us. All right, that's declined, and Tampa about to punt. Yeah, especially if you're coming from the Ravens, organization. You already knew that was going to be the perfect fit. You just didn't know how long it would take to be able to build the O-line and the defense, in his vision. So, Bucs with the punt. Ooh, big hit. Nice special teams there by the Buccaneers. We get a few photos here during the commercial break. 1st down and 10 at the Atlanta 29 after that Riley Dixon 45-yard punt. Devin Tompkins there with a 10-yard return. 1st down and 10 at the ATL 29. Seven, Falcons and Buccaneers tied up in a good one. 9:35 left in the second quarter. Throwback unis, beautiful. Well, considering I've been a fan of the Buccaneers for many, many years, 30 plus years, I've seen a lot of good, average and, bad quarterbacks and a couple, pretty elite ones as well. So, you got to have that person that's got that dog in them, and Baker definitely does. Bajan bounces it to the outside. Big run. 1st down, Falcons. Move the chains. So we got a flag on the play. Is that holding on the O-line? Yes, sir. Bring that back. We'll take that hold. Drummond with the penalty there. Thank you, Drummond. It's like every time Atlanta ends up having a big play, it gets called back. Cross does look epic in the throwback. Any player on the Hawks wearing the throwback is an epic look. There's no doubt about that. Eight first downs for the Falcons and 7 penalties. Wow. And whistle is blown again. Golly, another penalty? That's going to be on Pitts. False start on Atlanta. And again, there's a reason why, certain teams, have records like they do. And, the Falcons are 4-9 for a reason, 2-5 on the road. Too many self-inflicted wounds. I mean, how can you have as many penalties as first downs? It's hard to win games. And with that being said, the game is tied. With all of these, penalties, they still have a chance to win this game. Judah in the building. What's good? Luckily, the Bucs only have 2 penalties for 10 yards. We'll take that. Handoff up the middle. We got to be able to strip that football out. And a nice strong run there by Bijan Robinson. 2nd and 3 after that 13-yard run by Bijan Robinson. Antoine Winfield Jr., my boy, with the tackle. 2nd down and 3 at the Atlanta 36. Jolly with the tenor. Appreciate you. Man in motion on 2nd down and 3. Cousins hands off to Bijan. Tackle him. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. Nice. Stacks. Racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Yeah, well, we know how that goes. You got to have the right coach. And again, once you get the right coach, then everything kind of falls into place, especially for college football. So appreciate the sport, Jolly. Yeah, that's tough. But again, things could change, a lot of times, from where the rankings sit now and when we actually have the season, in the fall next year. And incomplete after Tampa has some good pressure there on Kirk Cousins and knocks him down. 2nd down and 10 on the Atlanta 41. Second down and 10. Shotgun set. 5 wide receiver set. Cousins going deep. Turn around. And are they going to give Bijan the catch there? Yeah, I think he only got 1 foot. Let me see. Did he get both feet down and it caught it one-handed? Look at Bijan. Whoa, wow. 1. Oh, he only got 1 foot down, but hell of an effort there by Bijan catching that with his left hand. Yeah, well, obviously if you're not, Georgia, then obviously there's going to be a few schools that are going to be on the up and up, but, 3rd down and 10 at the Atlanta 41, but great attempt by Bijan. Shows you how great of an athlete he truly is. And we saw that athleticism when he was on Texas for the Longhorns and, still doing it obviously here for the Atlanta Falcons. Third down and 10 at the Atlanta 41. Shotgun set, another flag on the play. And they blow the play dead, even though Sills is another false start there for the Falcons. Gosh, man. I'm not sure if I've seen a team penalized this much in a first half all year. And Matthews with the false start. Correct call. Raheem Morris losing his mind. 3rd down and 15 at the Atlanta 36. But again, we haven't been able to get sacks, and that's the problem. We need to be able to get to the quarterback, and we don't have that type of presence. We need a Will Anderson Jr. We need a Danielle Hunter like the Texans have. We need that. We haven't had a great pass rusher since fucking Simeon Rice. Get to him. Little check down. Pitts is there. Tackle him. There you go. Finally, Levante David comes in late to get the tackle. Nice catch there by Pitts, and Pitts is really getting a lot of looks since Drake London is injured and out. And now it's 4th down. And Falcons are going for it. Oh, we got a Buccaneer down. And McCollum has been getting tore up all year, and now he's out with an injury. Hopefully he's okay, but we've already had plenty of injuries. We don't need any more. Less than 7 minutes to go here before halftime. 4th down and 4. And now the Falcons change their mind and decide to go for the punt. I mean, unless they end up going for the fake. Yeah, he'll end up being a Hall of Famer. I don't know, how long it'll take him to get in. He probably won't get in first ballot, but David has been great for us. He's been the Derek Brooks of the team. And anytime you can get a guy, from Nebraska to play that long on that high of a level, it's been a beautiful thing. And Bradley Pinion with a 53-yard punt goes for a touchback. 1st down and 10 at the Tampa 20. And still playing at a high level. I just wish Devin White would have, worked out for us. He's really crappy in pass coverage, but he's top 5 in tackles for the Raiders this year. And again, I wish him the best. Just wish it would have worked out, so that way we would have been able to have that dynamic duo of Devin White and Levante David. But I will say this, if we didn't draft, Devin White from LSU, we wouldn't have won the Super Bowl with Brady. He was a very key component that particular year. And again, he was one of the best linebackers as a rookie. And again, when you end up getting Tristan Wirfs, and you have Devin White and Antoine Winfield Jr., and you have these new faces on top of, Brady and Gronk and everyone else that we already had, like Godwin and Evans, it was kind of the perfect storm of young guys and obviously veterans. And again, we definitely put it together. 6:29 left in the second quarter, 7-7 Falcons and Bucks, and hopefully we'll be able to march down the field and get a field goal with McLaughlin, or more than likely, maybe we can end up finding a Buka or one of the other studs on the offense, and we can end up taking a 14-7 lead. Yeah, but Boston wasn't going to pay that kind of money, for Pete Alonso, for a guy that's, kind of getting older, and again, Baltimore a couple years ago made the playoffs and they lost Santander and, kind of had a rough year. And, now when you look at their starting lineup with Pete added, as long as he doesn't get injured, there's a chance that Baltimore could make a run. So, definitely a name that many teams wanted, but, again, the money that he ended up getting was pretty high. And I assume that's one of the reasons Boston probably decided to say, go ahead and have them. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. We'll be off tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Huskies versus Boise State Broncos in the bowl game on Saturday at 5 o'clock Pacific. And then we'll end up doing Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football for streams coming up. And I do think Boise State versus the Washington Huskies would be a pretty good bowl game. So I'm actually looking forward to, seeing what we get, out of Jonah Coleman, Damon Williams Jr., and the rest of the Huskies out there. And I definitely will be pulling for them to beat Boise State. And regardless on who the coach is for Boise State or who's on the team, they usually compete. So should be a good matchup. Yeah, I'm glad Schwarber didn't go to the Blue Jays. Even though Blue Jay fans were, thinking they were going to, potentially get him. So third down after that, Baker Mayfield pass went incomplete, goes to Chris Godwin for 4 yards. Third down and 6 at the Tampa Bay 24. Let's go, Baker. Dungy in the building. Let's go, Godwin. Creamsicle is back, baby. Let's go. Third down and 6. Atlanta showing blitz, so we got to get rid of the football quickly here. Godwin in motion, shotgun set. Baker towards the sideline. What a catch! Mike Evans, ME13, hitting that, crank that soldier boy on the sideline. Great to have him back. Let's go. Love it, baby. First down, Buccaneers. Move the chains. I mean, look at this catch, the extension by Mike, and a guy that's been hurt for, quite a few weeks. It's just so good to have him back. We haven't had that reliable presence, with Godwin, Evans, Bucky, injured, as well as McMillan. It's just nice to be able to have, some of the studs back. Great job by Baker and Mike Evans. Beautiful. Play action. Throw towards the sideline there. Abuka is there, breaks a tackle. There you go. First down, Buccaneers. There we go, baby. Baker Mayfield to one of my favorite players on the team, Emeka Buka. There we go. Move the trains. Yeah, it's almost unfair for the Dodgers, for Edwin Diaz, one of the best closers. They already, have an amazing team, and now they get one of the, top 5 closers. Golly, it's going to take anything and everything. Like, the only way you beat the Dodgers maybe is injuries. Baker, there we go. Jalen McMillan, let's go, baby. First game back, and I had a touchdown taken away. But again, great to see Jalen with that fire. The Husky wide receiver, absolute stud. Was catching passes from Michael Penix Jr. when he was in college for the Huskies. Now he's catching passes from Baker Mayfield. Love me some Jalen McMillan. He definitely can take over Chris Godwin's role when Godwin retires. Nice 19-yard pass from Baker to McMillan. Hands it off. Go, Bucky. Spin move. Ooh, big tackle by Ellis. Holy hell. Thankfully, Bucky gets up. He got drilled into the ground. I mean, anytime you end up doing a spin move, you definitely are putting yourself in a position to get picked up and slammed into the ground, and that's exactly what happened. Got to be better, Baker. 4 touchdowns, 4 picks, last 4 games. Had a lot of injuries to not only the skill position players, but also the offensive line. And looks like he's going to be a little bit better here today. Second down and 9 at the Atlanta 32. Yeah. Shotgun set. Baker. Ooh, no. And a big hit there. And anytime I see someone get upended like that, that's how McMillan got hurt. Getting landing on his neck. And I just got Mike Evans back. I don't want Mike Evans, to have some kind of spinal neck injury. And again, having to jump in the air and getting your feet kind of taken underneath you there. Thankfully, Mike did not land on his head. I would have been crushed if that would have happened. And McMillan, obviously knowing that's how he got hurt, got obviously in the face. And Mike looking a little shook up there on the sideline. Hopefully he's okay. Timeout, Tampa Bay. 3rd down and 9 at the Atlanta 32. Anytime you end up getting upended like that and, your feet are in the air, you just got to pray that you don't land on your head or your neck. Come on, Baker. 3rd down and 9. Shotgun set, trips left. Come on, Baker. Man in motion, shotgun set, good protection. Baker, throw it. Baker, get rid of it. Baker, go. Shit. And he's lucky that ball didn't get punched out from behind. And again, nobody was open. And again, good defense there by the Falcons. And thankfully, Baker Mayfield has some strong arms not to fumble that football. That could have turned into a fumble for a touchdown. And thankfully, Baker was able to hang on. Caden Ellis has been all over the field for the Falcons. 4th down and 8 at the Atlanta 31. All right, McLaughlin here for a long field goal, 49 yards. He can make this. Kick is up, and right down the middle, one of the best kickers in the game, and it is good. Let's go. 10-7 Buccaneers. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Chase. Really does help when you have a reliable kicker in football, whether it's, college or the NFL. Nice job, Chase. And we've had some pretty good ones in the past. Martin Gramatica, Gramatica, loved him. Helped us win a Super Bowl, obviously in the John Gruden era with Allstott and Sapp and Simeon Rice and Derek Brooks and John Lynch and Rondé Barber. And then we also had Matt Bryant, who played on the Buccaneers and the Falcons. And I actually really enjoyed, the time that we had with Bryant. Obviously, when he ended up going to the Falcons, that's another story, but you know what I mean. And McLaughlin with the kick. And that's going to be a touchback. All right, 2:04 left before halftime. 10-7 Buccaneers. Self-inflicted wounds, for the Falcons with all the penalties. But again, hopefully we'll be able to find a way to, win this game. And we got the Dolphins and the Panthers twice. It's definitely going to be, you would assume, winnable games. But, Panthers have been playing some pretty good ball, and you never know what version of the Dolphins you're going to get. So, Bijan Robinson with a nice play there. 10-yard pass from Cousins to Bijan. Logan Hall there with the tackle. And now we're at the 2-minute warning. Anything else that you want to be able to see, Jolly? You want some vintage Peyton Manning from Tennessee, the Volunteers? You got someone T. Martin? You want some old school Volunteer love? You let me know and I got you. Let's go, gang. Great to have you back, Mike. Great to have you back, CG. Levante, you're a Hall of Famer, baby. Let's go. Ibuka, fantastic draft pick. One of my favorite players on the team. If you don't got good offensive line, forget about it. Love me some Tristan Wirfs. And I love me some Antoine Winfield Jr., baby. Let's go. Sean Tucker with a 1-yard rush in the first quarter, giving us the early 7-0 lead. Kyle Pitts from Kirk Cousins, making it 7-7 in the second quarter. And then Chase McLaughlin with a 49-yard field goal just moments ago. 9 plays, 49 yards on that drive. 10-7 Buccaneers. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the bowl games, starting to kind of get underway. And again, we're kind of, getting to the, back end of the season for college football, as well as the NFL. And, we know how amazing the college football playoff and the NFL playoffs are going to be this year. Yeah, I'll watch, and we'll see, based on the schedule. I'm going to be doing the Washington Huskies versus the Boise State Broncos on Saturday. But, depending on when that game is on, that might be an opportunity. Hand off up the middle. First down, Falcons. Bijan Robinson with the short gain. Move the chains. And I definitely like Oregon's chances against JMU, Texas Tech, Indiana, and then either Georgia or Ohio State in the Natty. We got a path that, we have a chance to be able to get there, and I hope we do. Cousins going towards the sideline, wide open, broken coverage. Oh, big tackle there. And a nice job there by Kyle Pitts, having the game of his life. And again, with Drake London being out, Kyle Pitts is the beneficiary here today. And a broken coverage there by the Buccaneers. What's new? And again, broke him off on that route. And thankfully, Antoine Winfield Jr. was able to get the tackle there. Fantastic route there by Kyle Pitts. Oh, Alamo Bowl has been around for a long time. It's not like one of the biggest bowls, but, a pretty well-known bowl. Shotgun set. Cousins. Wide open. Touchdown, Falcons. Terrible defense by the secondary for the Buccaneers. Holy hell. Kyle Pitts in the end zone. Great job by Kirk Cousins. And again, another problem. Secondary, not very good besides Jamel Dean and Antoine Winfield Jr., right? McCollum ended up having the injury, so you got another backup in there. And then on top of that, no pass rush. So again, if you don't get any sacks and you can't get to the quarterback, and then your secondary can't fucking defend, then that's the type of shit that happens. Nice job by Cousins. Nice job by Pitts. Not what I want to see. Christ, terrible defense. Extra point is up. And good. And now we got 38 seconds left to hopefully try to get a field goal to, get a little bit closer in this game. Terrible D. Fuck, man. I'm not a hater, though. We'll give Pitt some love. unexcusable to give up a touchdown with less than a minute to go, but you know, Kirk definitely plays very well against the Buccaneers. There's no doubt about that. And last time he played us, he threw for like fucking 500 yards. So, all right, Kirk, I'm not a hater. Nice job. 14-10 Falcons. Nice touchdown there to Pitts. And then hopefully Baker Mayfield will be able to, you know, make something happen here. I mean, I don't expect to get a touchdown here with 38 seconds left. And hell, we might not even be able to get ourselves in position for points. But, you know, a long field goal attempt by McLaughlin, I'm hoping that we can at least get to 14-13 at half. All right, Baker, let's go. Whitworth's birthday tomorrow. Falcons with the squib. Pick it up. Pick it up. Go, baby, go. Wow. Physical tackling by the Falcons there in their special teams unit. Zane Gonzalez. 55-yard kick. 16-yard return by Sean Tucker. All right, Baker, let's go, baby. Air it out. Shotgun set. Falcons bring 4. Pump fake by Mayfield. Tipped. Fuck. And almost intercepted. Holy hell. Diablo. Oh, row. Sounds like a made-up name. Or something that you would hear in South Park. Second down and 10 at the Tampa Bay 26. Man in motion. 4 wide receivers set. Baker, throw towards the sideline. Incomplete. Overthrows Mike Evans. Badly there. Third down and 10. Come on, Baker. And again, the offensive line is not doing a very good job here today. And again, it shows. The offensive line hasn't been good this year. We have 0 pass rush on the D-line. Secondary is getting fucking ripped apart. And we got a face mask on the defense. We'll take that. Automatic first down. Alford with the face mask there on Godwin. Big 15-yard penalty. Come on, Tampa. 25 seconds to get into field goal range. Come on, Baker. 4 wide receiver set. Shotgun set for Mayfield. Atlanta showing blitz. They only bring 3. No 4. Baker, wide open. Let's go. Get up. Get up. There we go. Mike Evans. First down. Buccaneers, move the chains. Let's go. Baker Mayfield to our boy, Mike Evans. He's back, baby. Let's go. Nice job. Let's get it, baby. Move the chains. Nice job, Mike. Big 34-yard pass for Baker Mayfield to Mike Evans. Huge. Let's go. We're in field goal range, but now we're going to be trying to go for 6. Come on, Bake. Shotgun set, first down and 10. Mayfield steps up in the pocket. Don't get sacked. Fuck. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. God damn it. Can the offensive line just do their fucking job? Second timeout called by the Bucs. But again, we've had the second most lineups out of all the teams in the NFL out of 32. So that's not a stat that you want to be on. And a big sack lunch there by James Pierce Jr. Second down and 18 at the Atlanta 34. All right, one more play and a long field goal attempt by Chase McLaughlin, and I think that he'll be able to make the field goal, but let's see if we can make it a little bit easier for him. And timeout, Buccaneers. I'm going to talk it over. Let's go, Baker. I believe in you, Chase. Let's go. 9 for 9 on field goals from 50-plus yards. That's why he's one of the best kickers in the game in 2025. Audible at the line for Baker with 7 seconds left before halftime, down by 4. Shotgun set. Mayfield. Pump fake, and just has to throw it into the turf. And that was a good decision because, again, if he would have, ran around, we wouldn't have been able to get the field goal. So, good decision there by Baker Mayfield. And now a long field goal attempt by Chase McLaughlin. Let's go, baby. $52-yarder. He's 9 for 9. Let's make it 10 for 10, baby. Let's go. Come on, Chase. Kick is up. Chase, right down the middle, and it's good. Let's go. 10 for 10 beyond 50. Let's go. The best kicker in the NFL beyond 50 yards in 2025. Let's go. 14-13. Obviously, I would rather have the lead, but with all things considered, I'll take that. Huge. I was really, hoping that there wasn't going to be any, touchdowns in that last minute by the Falcons, but, down by 1 in a very competitive matchup between the rivals, the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. I'm going to go check up on Paisley here real quick. And I'll be back here in just a moment. right, I'm back. Just had to check up on the pup. All right, no worries. We got 8 minutes before halftime. 14-13 Falcons. Just had to get Paisley some snacks and whatnot. Bucked Up LA Bowl, Boise State and Washington. That'll be on Saturday, and we'll definitely be doing that. That'll be the next stream. Army Navy this weekend as well. And we'll be doing Vikings Cowboys on Sunday night and Dolphins Steelers on Monday night. I got to go take care of Paisley real quick. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. And we only have 6 minutes to go before half. So we're going to be back into the action before you know it. And the Falcons are going to receive the second half kickoff here in just a moment. Please do help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And for Jolly, Megan, or Sarah, if there's anything that you want to see photo-wise, let me know, and I got you. I got to get the Tyler Warren photo for Sarah. All right, 2 minutes to go before halftime is up, which is nice. NFL games go through halftime very, very quickly. Gained a sub since the last commercial break. 93 to go to 23,400. (14-13), Falcons up by 1, and we are about to get into the second half kickoff here in about a minute and a half. Minnie in the building. What's good? How are you? How's work been? Hope you're doing well. We're just about to get into the second half here in a good one. 14-13, Falcons and the Buccaneers. Bucks, it's a must-win game. Obviously, we know it's going to either be the Panthers or the Buccaneers representing the NFC South in the playoffs. And we got the Falcons here tonight, obviously. Then we end up having the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Panthers. So we'll see where it goes. Offensive line, there's issues there. The secondary, there's issues there. The defense in general. Again, it's nice to be able to have Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan back. But again, we're going to need a team effort here if we're going to close this game out. Yeah, I'm glad, and it kind of hurt, with the rain, and the poor play that we had against the Saints. That was a game that we should have won, but, again, when you don't have one of your best, linemen playing in Tristan Wirfs and, you end up having a defense that's not very disciplined, sometimes that ends up happening where you play a team that you feel that you're better than, but, they give their best effort, you do not, and, we'll see where it goes. But the Panthers have been playing some pretty good ball as of late, so there is no guarantee that we're going to win the NFC South the 5th year in a row, but I'm really hoping that we can find a way. I've missed you. Good to see you. Glad work is going good. How cold is it up there, and how are you doing in fantasy? All right, Atlanta's about to get the second half kickoff now. And McLaughlin kicks off. And that's going to be a touchback. $65-yard kick from Chase McLaughlin. Touchback to the Atlanta 35. Come on, Tampa. Let's go. It definitely shows, the weaknesses and the things that we need to improve on in the draft and free agency next year. Offensive line, secondary on the defense, and the defense in general. First down and 10 at the Atlanta 35. 15. Wow. That's crazy. Cousins with the play fake. Screen pass to Bijan. Get him! And Bijan Robinson with a big gain there. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. Playoff spot secured. That's great to hear. $16-yard pass from Kirk Cousins to Bijan Robinson. Izien with the tackle. First down and 10 at the Tampa 49. And Tampa is normally known as a defensive squad. So to see, them play poorly on that side of the ball for a majority of the year, it definitely stings. And off up the middle. Bijan breaking one tackle, but not the next. Short gain there from Bijan. Second down and long after that Izzian tackle. Come on, Christian. You got to make those plays. Second down and 6 at the Tampa 45. Cousins under center. Man in motion. Kyle Pitts is having a fantastic day since Drake London has been hurt. Bijan has been productive as well. There we go. Yaya Diaby says not today. There we go. Big tackle. Yeah. 4-yard run from second down and 6 to a loss of 3 because of Yaya Diaby, baby. Third down and 9 at the Tampa 48. Shotgun set, audible at the line there for Cousins. I mean, it's been pretty much go to Bijan or, go to Kyle Pitts. Blitz by Tampa and flag on the play. And of course, finally, when we get to Cousins, then there's a flag. Let's see if this is on the Falcons. Ball start on them. 5-yard penalty, and that'll make it, third down and 14 for the Falcons. Third and 14 at the Atlanta 47. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. We're at 45 on the dono train, 55 to go. Got the old school Doug Williams throwback on in support, and hopefully that'll work. Man in motion, shotgun set. Can we get some pressure, please? Little check down to Kyle Pitts. Tackle him. There we go. Finally with the tackle. Ball comes loose after the knee was down. And that'll be 4th down and 8. Falcons are forced to punt. It's wine o'clock, baby. White or red? Six-yard pass from Cousins to Pitts. Jones with the nice tackle there. And the Falcons are about to punt. And that goes over his head for a touchback. Flag on the play. Man, so many flags on the Falcons here. Bucs have a few, but this has been a little ridiculous with the penalties. During the kick, holding on the receiving team. Now we're going to a commercial break after that punt. 14-13 Falcons. Come on, Tampa. Come on, Baker. I need you to bake. I mean, we got the squad. Antoine Field Jr., Vita Vea, Mike Evans is back tonight. Baker is always baking. Chris Godwin, Levante David, and Bucky Irving. I mean, we got players, but again, if the offensive line or the defensive line isn't good, which it really isn't, as well as the secondary, then sometimes, those players can't do, what you want them to do. And hopefully we'll be able to score enough here to get this dub here tonight. Not JT in the building. What's good? White during the week and red when friends are over or on the weekend. Yeah, ridiculous amount of penalties in this game. What's good, Not JT? How you doing with the weather up there in the Pacific Northwest? It's nice that I know some areas in Washington are still hit with the flooding, in all the crazy weather that we had. And obviously we've had a few days, since a lot of the flooding that, it's been not really cold, but, a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle there here, where I am, but hopefully that you're doing okay where you live. So 11 penalties for 75 yards for the Falcons. That's ridiculous. And we have 3 for 20. So a total of 14 penalties combined. And, hopefully we don't have too many more. But again, based on how this game is going, there's probably a good chance there's going to be quite a few more. Got to win this game. And again, it's not like, Carolina or Tampa realistically would win a playoff game. Someone's got to make it from the NFC South. Just like someone's got to make it from the AFC North, Pittsburgh or Baltimore aren't going to be able to beat anybody. And chances are Tampa and Carolina aren't going to be able to beat anybody either. But, again, there is, I guess some kind of prize, for at least getting to the playoffs. And, we've won the division 4 years in a row and we're trying to go for 5. But just the injuries to the offensive line, skill position players, specifically wide receivers, and obviously the secondary. Not having a pass rusher that's worth a damn. We had to sign JPP, who's been retired for like years, but again, he's not playing tonight, but, hopefully they'll address that in the offseason. First down and 10 at the 10 after the hold. Baker, hands off to Bucky. And a short gain there. 1 yard gain. Second down and 9. Or did they even give him a yard? Didn't even give him a yard. Nice tackle there by Jesse Bates the third. Looks like they didn't even give him the yard. Second down and 10 at the Tampa 10. Shotgun set for Baker. Trips left. 5 wide receiver set. Empty back. Baker. There we go. And a nice catch there by Chris Godwin. Come on, CG. We need you, baby. Come on, Godwin. Nice 8-yard pass there from Baker to Chris Godwin. Alford with the tackle. Here we go, Bucky. Get that first down. There we go. First down, Buccaneers. Nice job by Bucky Irving, baby. Let's go. Who the chains? Oh, no. Are you going to be going, or is it too late to go now? Nice 5-yard run there by Bucky Irving. Xavier Watts with the nice tackle there. First down and 10 at the Tampa 23. Man in motion, Jalen McMillan, play action fake. Baker going deep, got a man. There we go. First down, Buccaneers, Emeka Egbuka. Let's go. Baker to Egbuka, and we know how great Egbuka was in the first month of the season. And, obviously with a lot of these other receivers getting healthy now, not getting as many targets, but a nice 20-yard pass by Baker to Emeka Egbuka. First down, Buccaneers. Move the chains. You've been going to quite a few lately. Prayers up to all the families and people that have been, affected by that. Baker, play action fake. Good protection up front. Baker going deep, one-on-one. Evans, got it! Let's go. Mike Evans, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Baker. One-on-one. Mike Evans is back. He says, give me the football. Hell yeah. Look at Mike go up and get it. And that's the thing that we've been lacking. That big, tall, wide receiver, 45-yard pass from Mayfield to Evans. And I know Baker really wants Mike to be able to get a touchdown in this game. Great, strong hands there by Mike, even though he bobbled it towards the end. Nice catch on Kobe Bryant. Baker on first down and 10, throw to the sideline, and caught by Egbuka. Or did he end up not catching that in bounds? That's close. That might be 2nd down and 10 there. Incomplete. Uh-oh, personal foul, face mask on the defense. We'll take that. Jerry in the building. What's good? Yeah, great to see Mike back after he got his legs, taken underneath him, and again, that's how Jalen McMillan ended up missing the whole year, and he just came back. If you land on your neck or your head, it definitely could be a spinal or neck injury, and it always freaks me out when I see guys, get their legs taken, away from them, and they end up falling awkwardly. So Mike is a warrior, and we've missed him tremendously. 1st and goal at the Atlanta 6. Man in motion, Jalen McMillan, who's playing in his first game of the season. Baker, run Baker! And Baker diving, but ends up taking the sack lunch. 12 noon, you know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Dorless with the big sack lunch there on Baker Mayfield. Baker just had to hit the deck, so to speak. Didn't want to get popped by Brandon Dorless. 2nd and goal at the Atlanta 13, loss of 7. And again, Baker should have just ran it. Run towards that right side and run. Instead of stepping up into the pocket, run to the right. It was wide open. Come on, Baker. 14-13 Falcons in a must-win game for the Buccaneers. Shotgun set for Mayfield. Good protection up front. And underthrown. And incomplete. Intended running back, Bucky Irving. Come on, Baker. You're better than this. I mean, we got all these options back, and I know the offensive line has been banged up, and I know the secondary, has not been good. We have no pass rush, like 0, but again, we have to connect. But again, good defense there by the Falcons, getting a little tip on that football in his hand as well. Come on, Mayfield. Trips left. Godwin in motion. Baker, shotgun set. Throw it. Back of the end zone. And incomplete. Intended target, Emeka Ibuka. And flag on the play, and that's going to be on the Falcons. Give me that automatic first down. Give me that. I mean, we already got one of the best kickers in 2025 in Chase McLaughlin. 10 for 10 and 50-plus yards. And a flag is on Atlanta. Automatic first down. Alford, illegal contact. And again, we've been ripping apart their secondary. But again, with the athletes that we have at wide receiver and tight end, it's hard to keep up. All right, here we go. 1st and goal at the Atlanta 8. Let's go. Come on, Baker. The only one we're missing on offense is Cade Otton, our tight end. We miss him. Little halfback toss. Come on, Tucker. And a nice tackle there by the Falcons. And another flag. This is getting a little ridiculous. I mean, we're getting flags on like every other fucking play. Come on. Gosh. I don't know if I've seen a team get penalized as much as Atlanta all season in this game. This is crazy. I mean, they're pacing for 20-plus penalties. I don't think I've seen a game with that many from one team. And Diablo with a face mask on Tucker. I mean, they're just giving us more and more. I mean, that's kind of crazy, too, with the amount of penalties that they have, and we're down by 1 because obviously the secondary can't fucking guard anybody. 14th penalty for the Falcons here. 2 fouls on the defense. Personal foul, face mask. That one's declined. Personal foul. All right, automatic first down. Come on, Bucks. Tampa. Hey, let's go. Yeah, Raider. Like a Raider game. Except this is maybe even more penalties than a Raider game even. But definitely on that level for sure. $23 on Oakland, they said, was like one of the records. And then a handoff to Tucker and gets tripped up. Good defense there by Atlanta. So a face mask was declined. Tripping was enforced. Come on, Buccaneers. Slowly but surely, we got to take advantage of these penalties. I mean, it may be ugly at times, and it shows you how important, your O-line and your D-line and your defense are. You can have all these like magical, amazing players at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end for the Buccaneers. But if your O-line can't fucking block and your defense can't stop anybody, then you're only going to be able to do so much. You're not going to hit your potential with your skill position players. Shotgun set, 2nd and goal. Baker, he's open. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Nice job there by Durham and company. Devin Culp, I see you. Another Husky. We got Kate Otten as well. Baker, Culp, bang. Let's go. Nice job, Devin. Extra point is up and good. And the Buccaneers have quite a few Huskies and Ducks on the team, which always makes it more exciting for me, being a fan of a team that's very far away from me. But I still get to root on some Huskies and Ducks on the team. Nice job by Devin Culp. Let's go. Hell yeah. 2014 Buccaneers. Let's go. Great job there by Baker Mayfield. And obviously that would have been Cade Otton if he wasn't out. And Cade has been, pretty much injury-free all year besides this game. So kind of ironic that it goes from one Husky tight end to another Husky tight end, but we'll definitely take that. 6-yard touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield to Devin Culp. See if we can find a Devin Culp photo. I don't think we've even showed one all year. (20-14) Buccaneers. 6:22 left in the third. Nice job, Devin. Cade Otton would be proud. Awesome. And on Saturday, we're going to end up doing the Huskies versus the Broncos in one of the college football bowl games. We got Army and Navy on at noon, but we're going to end up doing the Bucked Up LA Bowl sponsored by Gronk, which is going to be the last year that they're going to do this bowl, but it's going to be Boise State versus Washington at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California at 5 o'clock Pacific. So that will be the next stream that we do on the channel. And again, anything that has to do with the Huskies or the Ducks, I'm definitely going to be paying attention, and definitely will be rooting for the Huskies to get that victory over Boise State. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Baker. Way to bring that electricity, baby. I mean, we got the squad. It's just about the others to be able to give them enough time. Great job by Mike Evans, making that drive happen. Hey, Creamsicle is back. CG, love ya. Chris Godwin, Levante David, let's make some plays on defense. Love me some Emeka Ibuka. And then, we got Tristan Wirfs up front doing a great job, and Antoine Winfield Jr. on the back end for the last reserve. Let's go. Let's go. 2014 Buccaneers. Now let's see if we can actually fucking stop them on defense. And again, offensive line, we need help. Defensive line, we need help. Secondary, we need help. And we could definitely use some linebacker depth as well. Yeah, back in the 70s and the 80s. And they wore the uniforms. They had a couple different, tints of orange that they would go through from the very beginning. And then they last wore them, on a regular basis around 95, when they drafted Sapp and Brooks. I got the Doug Williams throwback on right now, but obviously they came into the league in 1976. This is our 50th year anniversary, and we came in the same year as the Seattle Seahawks. I do like the Falcons throwback with the red helmets. They wore those in the 80s. Play action fake, Cousins, floater, interception is dropped. Fuck. And Jamel Dean, who's actually been very good for us this year, Vita Vea in the D-line is like the Warren Sapp, right? And then you end up having Levante David is like the Derek Brooks. And then you got Jamel Dean out there kind of like a Rondé Barber. And then we have Antoine Winfield Jr., who's like the John Lynch. But again, when you only have 4 guys out of 11 that you trust, that's not good, as far as like defense. It's 11 on 11. When you only got 4 guys that you really believe in, 7 others that are a big question mark, that's tough. Second down and 10 at the Atlanta 35. Shotgun set. Cousins, little check down, tackle him. And a great juke by Bijan and another one. Look at the speed and the athleticism by Bijan. Rip it out, Antoine Winfield Jr. And Bijan has such strong hands. So again, it's very hard to punch that football out or rip it out of his hands. We saw how much of an athlete he was on the Texas Longhorns when he was in college. But gosh, man, the athleticism that Bijan has, it's making the Buccaneer defense look silly out there. 21-yard pass by Cousins to Robinson, and finally Antoine Winfield Jr. with the tackle. First down and 10 at the Tampa 44. I love me some Jamel Dean. He's been great this season. Good chance that he'll be in the Pro Bowl this year, or getting some accolades. Shotgun set, pressure, floater. Buccaneer receiver falls down. Oh my God. And Sills drops it. That would have been an easy walk-in touchdown. Wow. And again, another Buccaneer player falling down. Sills wide open, and he dropped it. What happened to my hands? And if you're going to drop, passes like that, you deserve to lose. My God. I hope we don't do that. Yeah, he was. And Dean falls down there, kind of takes a little bit of a slight push, nothing to get a penalty on though, and then a little bit of a slip, and thank God Sills dropped that. My God. Shotgun set on second down and 10. Throw to the sideline, and Dean in coverage. Mooney there with the catch, and we haven't heard his name really that much here in this matchup. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. Zion McCollum is out, but guess what? He's not very good, so it's probably good that he's out. But the only problem is the guy that we have in for him might be even worse than him. So prayers up to Zion McCollum, but he hasn't really done us too many favors this year. Cousins, play action. And Levante David is there with the good coverage. Incomplete. Nice job by Levante. Go, baby. We need you. See what Phillip Rivers does? Yeah. I don't know how much, I would expect. Probably not a whole lot, if you're going to be going against the Seahawks. That defense is, legit. So Cousins on second down and 10. Sack him! Golly. And incomplete. Are we going to get grounding here on Cousins? There we go. Flag comes out, and we're going to get a grounding on Cousins. Oh, yeah, definitely grounding. No doubt about that. Jerry in the building. What's good, brother? 10-yard penalty. Third down and 20 at the Tampa 41. I just want to be able to get a fumble or an interception or a sack lunch. Can I just get something productive on that side of the ball? Injuries, offensive line, and then the defense. Those have been the weaknesses for the Buccaneers this year. And again, if we were better in those three categories, we probably would have at least a couple more wins at this point. But we're still in the hunt with the Panthers to win the division, so I guess I can't complain. But we are pretenders. We're not Super Bowl contenders. Cousins, incomplete. Sills, the intended receiver. And now it's going to be 4th down and 20. Here we go. And obviously, we all know Doug is, known for being on the Buccaneers, but really what made him famous is, getting that Super Bowl with the Redskins. Oh, he dropped it. Holy shit. And thankfully he jumps right back on it. Holy hell. That would have been a huge game changer if the Falcons would have recovered that. Pinion punts 32 yards. And obviously we had Cameron Johnson muff that catch, but he recovers just in time. 1st down and 10 at the Tampa 10. And yes, he did. Looks good in that Redskin uniform, and I wish the Redskins still existed. That's much better than the Commanders. That's a fire look right there. 20-14 Buccaneers, and hopefully we'll be able to add on a little bit more here with Baker Mayfield. We need him to bake. We got plenty of amazing players that can get the job done, but if your O-line and D-line stink, then these guys can't play up to their potential. Let's go. But one guy I do love on the line is Tristan Wirfs, but again, other than him, a lot of the others need to step their game up. Mooney has like one catch right now. Mooney's got one catch for 13 yards. That's it. And there we go. Mike Evans on the sideline, baby. 1st down. Buccaneers. Let's go. There we go. 20-yard pass from Baker Mayfield. Welcome back. ME13, Mike Evans, one of my favorites of all time. 20 yards. 1st down. Bucks. Move the chains. Baker under center, hands off. Oh, there we go, Bucky. And he gets met by 4 different Falcons. 20-14 Bucks. Let's go, baby. This is a must-win game. We got the Dolphins and the Panthers twice. And again, we got to be able to win them all. 6-yard run there by Bucky Irving towards that right tackle. Diablo there with the tackle. 2nd down and 4 at the Tampa 36. There we go. Go, baby, go. 1st down, Bucks. Bucky Irving right up the middle. Let's go. Nice job, Bucky. Bucky. And it's awesome to be able to see Ducks and Huskies doing big things for this Buccaneer team. 16-yard run there from a direct snap to Bucky Irving. Running the Wildcat. Shotgun set. And another one. Look at Bucky running the Wildcat. Let's go, Bucky. Keep it going. About 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. 20-14 Buccaneers. 5-yard run with a direct snap. On a Wildcat to Bucky Irving on back-to-back plays. Watts with the tackle. 2nd and 5 at the Atlanta 43. Man in motion. Baker, play action. Falcons bring in the blitz. And Baker can't get away. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Offensive line stinks besides Tristan Wirfs. And even Wirfs is having a battle today. TJ in the building. What's good, brother? Oh, it's all good. We'll be doing the Washington Huskies versus the Boise State Broncos bowl game on Saturday at 5 o'clock Pacific. So I'm not sure what you got going on that particular day. And then obviously we'll do that. And then Sunday night football, no stream tomorrow. Baker, throw to the sideline, incomplete. Tez Johnson, former Oregon Duck, was the intended target. And that's going to be 4th down and 12 for the Buccaneers. And I'll definitely be rooting the Huskies on to beat Boise State. So we're at 45 on the Dono train, 55 to go. And we're just going to try to do our best to get as many as we can. Bucks with the punt. And Falcons with the fair catch. This game has been an insane amount of penalties, TJ. 15 penalties for the Falcons for 100 yards. Tampa's only got 3 for 20. But again, they ended up scoring a touchdown with Pitts right before halftime. We got a field goal with McLaughlin. And he's 10 for 10 with field goals over 50 yards, which is number 1 in the NFL in 2025 based on 50 yards or more. So it's always nice when you have a field goal kicker that you can trust, not only chip shots, but 50 and beyond. There's not very many people in the NFL nowadays that can go 10 for 10 on 50-yard field goals. And Chase has been fantastic for us, and hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit more. We got Mike Evans back today, as well as Jalen McMillan, first game back all season. And, we've missed him since he got injured in preseason, landing on his neck, and almost had a touchdown in the first half, but they ended up calling him down at like the 1. And then obviously Tucker got the touchdown instead, which is kind of a shame. But again, it's nice to be able to see that passion, from some of these Buccaneer players that have been out, for a significant amount of time, like McMillan, the former Husky, all season until today. And then Mike Evans, we haven't had in a long time as well, about a month, it feels like. And, we'll see where it goes. Yeah, Baker's struggling because the offensive line isn't really doing very good. He's 14 for 26, 244 yards with a tutty. Cousins is 16 for 25 with 2 tutties and 212. So Cousins has been playing a little bit better because he's been getting more protection up front with their O-line. But with all that being said, as long as we play pretty good offense, and the defense just doesn't give the fucking game away. We should be able to hopefully compete late. So, yeah, a lot of our guys are injured, but again, at this point in the season, you just got to buck up, right? And you got to play with the injuries. So, next week, can't wait. Rams and Seahawks, one of the games of the year. Oh, baby. Both are Super Bowl contenders. Both could be in the NFC Championship game, and both could win the Super Bowl this year. We already know that the Broncos, Patriots, and the Bills got to be the top three in the AFC. And then you got the Rams and the Seahawks, right? And then obviously you got a lot of other teams, the Packers, the Niners, the Bears, the Lions, the Eagles, even though the Eagles aren't as good as they were last year, but it's really tough to say, what version of the Packers, Bears, Eagles, Lions, show up, and could it be the good version or the bad version? We don't know, but it definitely feels like the Hawks and the Rams are the two best in the NFC. Broncos, Patriots, and the Bills are the three best in the AFC, and then everyone else is scrambling for position. 2-yard run there from Bijan Robinson. Levante David with the tackle. 2nd down and 8 at the Atlanta 15. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. My boy. Shotgun set on 2nd down and 8. Cousins. Up in the air. Jacob Parrish, is that going to be an interception? I was going to say, we've been so close on getting interceptions. We haven't been close on a sack or a fumble yet, but that might have hit the ground. Did it hit the ground, though? What a hit! Wow! Bijan who? 1, 2... Yeah, he has control, and that's a fumble, baby. That's a fumble. But then it hits the ground. So obviously it's not an interception, but again, that should be a fumble recovery for Tampa Bay. And again, it's like Kirk Cousins has so much time back there. It's just, making me want to pull out my hair and whatnot if I had any. But, but finally it looks like we are going to get a turnover. And again, Bijan is such an athlete. It's not like you're going to punch it out or rip it out. He's too buff. But again, if we can take advantage of this turnover, this could be the difference in the game. Great job by Tampa. Let's go. Let's go, Baker. And the fumble is confirmed. Here we go. Punch this in for a fucking touchdown. Man in motion. Shotgun set for Baker. Baker, run away, Baker. Avoids the sack. Pump fake. Keeps his eyes downfield. Mike Evans. And Mike Evans is down. Oh, fuck. Did they injure him again? Son of a bitch. I just got Mike Evans back, and now he's hurt again. But it looks like he's going to walk it off. He already almost landed on his neck early in the game. Mike Evans is a tough SOB, and again, when you don't have your wide receiver 1, or your wide receiver 2, or your wide receiver 3 for a good chunk of the year, and your running back 1, and it's now I'm finally getting some of these guys back. But I think they're going to call that, incomplete. 2nd down and 10 at the Atlanta 25. And we're going into the 4th quarter now with a 6-point lead. We're going to get a field goal out of this at the bare minimum to go up 23-14. But if we can go up 27-14, that might be a quarterback in my team. Unless I had an option to be able to get someone like a Josh Allen. Of course, Josh is incredible, but Baker fits the personality of the team and what we stand for. Being gritty and being physical and standing for what Tampa football is all about. And, he's the perfect fit. Hopefully Mike Evans is okay after that incomplete pass. And Creamsicle is back. We need Chris Godwin to step up. Levante David always does Levante David things. Maybe Ibuka could have a chance to get in the end zone. He's been a little quiet. Hopefully we'll be able to get him. Wirfs with some good protection up front. And obviously Antoine Winfield Jr. on that back end. Baker, we need you to bake. 20-14, Buccaneer lead. It's crazy that the Thunder one loss, all season is to the Blazers. When we were down by 20 plus in the first quarter, but we shot like 80+% in the fourth and we ended up beating them. But crazy like how good the Thunder are this year. It's almost inevitable to think as long as SGA doesn't get hurt, they're going to go back to back. No, I feel with Kelsey, it's an offensive line issue. It's a play calling issue by Nagy. Mahomes, hasn't been very good this year. Kelsey's been dropping a lot of passes, and there's a good chance that Kelsey will retire after this year. So I don't think so. I think that, if Kelsey were to come back next year and they end up beefing up the O-line, firing their offensive coordinator, getting some more pieces on offense at wide receiver and running back as well as defense, then we might be able to see Mahomes, be the old Mahomes. But, I'm not sure if you're, going to see Kelsey, be the Kelsey that we all love, from back in the day. I mean, even though this is just 1 year, but once you're getting to the back end of your career, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so he has it. The ball does come loose at the end, but I guess they're going to give Mike Evans the catch there. Hand up to Bucky Irving as he slips on the turf, damn it. Evans is a warrior, and again, we haven't been the same when he's not in the lineup. Same thing with Bucky Irving. Didn't have him since week 3, and we've only had him for a few weeks. And, when you have your wide receiver 1 and your RB1, it definitely makes all the difference. Slippage by Bucky Irving there. And then we got 2nd down and 10 at the Atlanta 15. Would love to see Mike Evans get a tutty. Shotgun set. Baker looking for Mike. PI. There it is. I mean, we're able to, it doesn't matter who it is at corner. We're going to take advantage. Terrell or Alford. And they are thinking the same thing that we're all thinking. We're trying to be able to get our boy in the end zone here. 1st and goal. Let's go, Bucks. Let's punch this shit into the end zone. 1st and goal at the Atlanta 5. And this would be time to put Tucker back in the game. And Tucker does go back into the game, who had the touchdown earlier. It's the most physical back that we have. Kind of reminds you of a Mike Allstott, LeGarrette Blount type. He's a little bit bigger than Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. They all do, something special, with this team. And it's great to have a 3-headed horse, at running back. You normally see that in college, but not in the NFL. You could argue we might have the, best 3, in the NFL based on the talent of Bucky Irving, Rachaad White, and Sean Tucker, based off talent. 2nd and goal on the Atlanta 3, man in motion, play action. He's open. Touchdown, Chris Godwin. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Baker Mayfield to Chris Godwin. Creamsicle is back, baby. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Let's go. Squad. Let's go. Way to bring that electricity. Nice job by Baker Mayfield to Chris Godwin. Touchdown, Bucks. Let's go. Our playoff hopes are still alive, baby. I mean, there's going to be teams like the Hawks and the Rams that are Super Bowl contenders. The Buccaneers are pretenders. There's no doubt about that. You know, the AFC North and the NFC South are the two worst divisions. You know, Steelers, Ravens, not very good this year. Buccaneers, Panthers, not very good. You know, but they're not good for different reasons. For us, it's been injuries. You know, you can't really say the same for the other three. 2-point conversion, shotgun set, Baker, looking, back of the end zone. He got it. Let's go. Chris Godwin again. Boom. Let's go. Yeah, but you still got the Eagles and the Cowboys, though. You know, again, you know, most people would assume that those two, you know, but again, you know, you have to look at records. You know, if we're actually talking about records and whatnot, and with the Eagles record and the Cowboys record compared to two teams that are 7-6 in the NFC South, Bucks and Panthers, and again, we play the Dolphins and the Panthers twice here late. So depending on how those games go with the Panthers, you know, that might determine, you know, who ends up winning the South. The Buccaneers for the 5th year in a row, which I'm really praying that we do, you know, even if we might get demolished in the playoffs, you know, or the Panthers winning it for the first time in a long time. So, because it went, you know, 4 years in a row for like the Saints and now 4 years in a row for the Buccaneers. But, you know, this team is nowhere near the same type of team that we had when we had Brady and Bruce Arians coaching, but I'll take that. 3-yard touchdown pass, 2-point conversion is good. Yeah, Eagles have been not playing very well, and you don't really know what version of that team is going to show up or not show up, you know, in the playoffs. But you could also say the same thing, you know, for a few other teams, you know, Eagles, Packers, Bears, Lions, you know, like, you know, Niners. Like, what version of those teams is going to show up? You don't know. You know, like right now, we know the Rams and Seahawks are Super Bowl contenders. The Broncos, Patriots, and the Bills are Super Bowl contenders. And the crazy thing is, everyone has a good defense out of those 5 teams that I mentioned: Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Broncos, and, you know, you got the Buffalo Bills. So 4 out of the 5 are good on both sides of the ball. The only team that's not good on one side of the ball is the Bills, but the Bills have one thing that no other team has, and his name is Josh Allen. So when you have Josh Allen, anything is possible. And they have a really good running back in Cook. So again, even though the Bills don't have a defense, they could, you know, find their way into the, you know, AFC Championship game and maybe even the Super Bowl. You know, but again, could they end up beating a team that's more well-rounded like the Rams or the Seahawks? You know, it's tough to say. You know, if you can slow Josh Allen down enough, yeah, you know, but again, how many teams are able to shut down Josh Allen? Not very many. So now, Eagles are not the team to beat. You know, they might have won the Super Bowl last year, but they're not playing, you know. Again, they were top 10 in offense in almost every category last year. Now they're ranked 20th to 26th in every category in, you know, offense in 2025. So they're not the same team. Their defense and the special teams are still pretty good, but the offense is nowhere near, you know, with Jalen Hurts, Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I mean, you can do it based off, oh, they were the champion last year, but they're not playing championship football. They got still a pretty good record, you know, but, you know, I don't know. You know, I got more trust in the Rams and the Seahawks right now than I do in the Eagles, Packers, Niners, Bears, Lions, Cowboys, Buccaneers, or Panthers. So, I mean, and they won it last year, you know. They're not good enough to win it this year. You know, you can tell. You know, again, you have to have good offense, defense, special teams, or that's what you're kind of hoping for. And really the only, you know, team that doesn't follow that pattern is the Bills because of Josh Allen and how good he really is. Kirk Cousins, play action fake, throw to the sideline, and complete. Okay, but if the Eagles were going to start playing better, don't you think they would have done it already? Like, what would make you think that they're going to all of a sudden turn it on, you know, when they're, you know, ranked 20th to 26th on every offensive category? You know, and again, if Lane Johnson comes back, that'll help because the offensive line really hasn't been the same. But I mean, there hasn't been any sign that they're going to turn it on. And if they were going to turn it on, they would have done it already. So, you know, they're still going to be one of the, you know, top 5 teams in the NFC, but I don't know if we can really trust them like we did last year. Screen pass to Bijan. I mean, they're better than the Buccaneers, they're better than the Panthers. They're better than, some of these other teams, but you don't really know. Like if it ends up being Eagles, Packers, Eagles, Bears, Eagles, Lions, you don't really know what version of Philly is going to show up, And again, it's a pretty dramatic drop-off from being top 10 in every offensive category and winning the Super Bowl and being 20th to 26th in every category in offense this year. They're not the same, at least on offense. Throw towards the sideline and complete to Bijan Robinson. Offensive line does make a huge difference. Even look at my team with all the options that I have. Baker, Rashad White and Bucky Irving and Tucker and Mike Evans and Godwin and McMillan and Tez Johnson, Abuka, Kate Otten. I got one of the best rosters player for player offensively. But besides Tristan Wirfs up front, if your offensive line, I've had the second most, injuries, combinations of different guys on the O-line. That's why the Bucs are 7-6. If I didn't have so many fucking injuries on the O-line and the skill position players as well as defense, we probably would have 9 or 10 wins right now. So, again, if you don't got a good O-line or D-line, you're nothing. You could have all these amazing players, but again, if your O-line and D-line stink, you're only going to go so far. Ask the Chiefs when they played the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, right? Mahomes didn't even throw a touchdown pass, because the defense was so good for the Bucs. So, second down and 6 at the Tampa 48 after a 4-yard run there by Bijan Robinson, who's an absolute stud. But O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and play calling are more valuable than quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Those are the most overrated positions in football that the media tries to push down your throat. Oh, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Just because those jerseys sell doesn't mean that, those are the most important. O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling is much more important. But the ones that get all the love, are going to be quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. But again, if you don't got a good O-line to pass protect or run block, those guys are only going to be able to do so much. 4-yard pass from Cousins to Werner. Third down and 2 at the Tampa 44. Let's go Bucks. I've been watching football since 85, This ain't something brand new to me. And a nice catch by Kyle Pitts, taking full advantage of the Drake London injury. He's having a monster game, and it's awesome to be able to see the former Florida Gator, actually start to play pretty good football. First couple years, he was kind of labeled a bust, and now, really being able to show his athleticism, good hands, good yak yards, and again, with Drake London out, and even Mooney is healthy. He's out there, but Cousins is going to Bijan and Pitts pretty much all game. Nice to be able to see a guy that was given up, by a lot of the fan base, starting to be able to get a little bit love back. Kyle Pitts. Shotgun set. Pump fake. Ooh, Sills. First down, Falcons. Move the chains. Yeah, but also too, the Jags and the Texans are going to surprise a lot of people. If you got a good defense, and obviously the Texans and the Broncos got the best defense, on a lot of the categories, but it's not like, the Seahawks and Rams don't have a defense. The Niners have a defense. Eagles have a defense. So, it's going to be very interesting. Even though the NFC is better this year, there's no doubt about that. Bijan, touchdown, Falcons. But there are going to be a few teams that have a chance to make a little bit of noise, like the Texans and the Jags. No one's really talking about them. We talk about the Broncos and the Patriots and the Bills for obvious reasons, but I also think that the Jags and the Texans, you don't really trust CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence fully, but if the defenses on those teams play great, they could potentially upset somebody, especially Houston. Based on Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., that Texan defense is arguably the best besides the Broncos based on statistics. 6-yard touchdown run by Bijan. If you got him in fantasy, you're loving that. 2-point conversion coming in here for Atlanta. Man in motion, shotgun set, Cousins, get him! Floater, and almost intercepted and incomplete. There we go. Yeah, but I don't think you're going to see, Sam Darnold play like he did with the Vikings and get absolutely stomped in the playoffs like they did by Detroit, and play like shit. I don't think you're going to see that. Again, what has Seattle improved on, from last year and the year before and the year before? They were bottom 2 offensive line. Now they're in the middle, like 16th, right? So they were terrible on the O-line, and people wanted to fry Geno. Geno did good based on the O-line being fucking terrible. But again, Geno's going to get the praise, when things are going good, and Geno's going to get the criticism when the Seahawks would lose. But the O-line was garbage. There's just no doubt about that. They were bottom 2, ranked 31st. Right now they're ranked like 16th. And look at the difference in the record, right? And then if you look at the defense, drastically improved. The Rams are well-rounded, offense and defense. Stafford might be the MVP. Darnold is doing great with JSN. Offensive line is doing awesome. Defense is doing great. So again, if you have a well-balanced team, offense, defense, special teams, the Hawks are probably a year or two early. Sometimes you get teams that all of a sudden they do a little bit better. And the two teams that I think that you could say that for in the NFC are the Seahawks and the Bears. You did not expect them to be this good this early. Maybe in another year or two, but sometimes that's what happens in football. Sometimes you end up being a year or two early, and then you surprise people. And again, the Bears like to run the football, play good defense. The Hawks like to run the football, play good defense, but also, guess what? They got the best receiver in the game in JSN. As far as yards is concerned, Devontae Adams may have more touchdowns, and Puka is a beast for the Rams as well. But that's what makes that rivalry, so much more exciting. It's like, it always was like Hawks-Niners, but now it's kind of transitioning into Hawks-Niners still, but obviously it's more Hawks-Rams now. And I can't wait for next Thursday night to see if the Hawks can win at home. It's going to be awesome. Chief O'Chief in the building. What's good? Yeah, but also you don't know what kind of injuries we're going to have from now until the playoffs, And again, injuries are huge, depending on who you have. But one thing that the Bears, have that I love is Ben Johnson. The Lions aren't not the same team without Ben Johnson. So again, it's not like, the Bears have all these amazing pieces on offense, but they do have one of the best play callers in the game. And Ben Johnson actually makes Caleb look kind of decent, even though we don't think he's that good, right? So, he still has a long ways to go. But if you got an amazing play caller like Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or, a Ben Johnson, again, the Lions don't really feel like the same team anymore. Like they had their little window, and I feel like their window kind of closed. Like they're still a good playoff team potentially, the Lions. But again, their defense is starting to get more and more banged up. Offensive line isn't as good as it was. And the play calling is not good either, overall. Jahmyr Gibbs is a beast, but other than that, and I love Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff in the offense, and I love David Montgomery, but it just doesn't have the same feel for Detroit without Ben Johnson calling plays, and it definitely shows. And the Bears definitely got the right one. Flag on the play. Well, not so fast. We got the Panthers twice. And so, depending on how those games pan out, will probably determine, who ends up, winning the NFC South. Kickoff short of the landing zone. I don't know if I saw, that penalty all year. 28-20 Bucks. It's not over yet. Shotgun set. Baker. Check down. Rachaad White is there. And a decent game there for Rachaad White. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. We're at 45 on the dono train, 55 to go to hit goal. We won't have a stream tomorrow, but we will end up doing the bowl game for the Bucked Up LA Bowl, Boise State versus the Washington Huskies at 5 o'clock Pacific on Saturday. And then we'll do Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. Baker. Emeka Ibuka with the catch. And another flag on the play. A flag party. 9-yard pass there from Baker to Ibuka. Penalty on A.J. Terrell. Defensive holding declined. And we've been able to fuck up Terrell and Alford. And those two guys in years past were pretty fucking good. But they've definitely taken a step backwards. At least in 2025. Come on, Baker. First down and 10 at the Atlanta 45. Baker, play action. And has to throw it into the turf and throw it away. Offensive line has just been absolutely garbage. You know, the offensive line hasn't been good besides Wirfs. You know, the defensive secondary has been garbage. The injuries have been garbage. You know, it's just I'm sick and tired of all these injuries and poor play on the O-line and the D-line. Can't get a sack for the life of us, you know. I mean, they signed JPP after he hasn't played football in fucking years. He's not playing today, but that shows you how desperate the Bucs are to win the division while you bring a guy back that's been retired for years. And I don't even know if JPP can even fucking make a difference, but they're going to, give him a shot. And intercepted. Fuck. And Alford with the pick. Come on, Baker. You got to be better. And one of the first mistakes for Baker Mayfield late in the game when we're up by 8. Come on, Baker. I still love you. But that was a big interception there. Didn't have enough oomph on that football. Fucking A. Alford with the great zone look there with the pick. Baker needed to look and see that. Sometimes quarterbacks throw to a player. Sometimes a quarterback will throw to a spot, before the player turns. And, that's just a great play there with that zone. D. Alford with the big pick. And Bijan breaking free. Tackle him. First down, Falcons. Yeah, if we could combine the Panthers and Bucs, we could actually do something. $14-yard run there by Bijan. Jamel Dean with the tackle, or he tried to tackle him, pushed him out. First down and 10 at the Atlanta 47. Three-yard gain there by Bijan. They got an amazing defense. I mean, if you ended up watching that, Niner game and the last, few games they played, obviously Bryce Young still has a ways to go. Rico Dowdle has been a good addition. Ted McMillan was a good draft pick. So obviously the offense is still, a work in progress, but their defense is fire. It's pretty good. It's just because they're the Panthers, there's no guarantee that we win the division. The Panthers could still win it, especially when we play them twice in the last 3 games. And again, we have not a very good offensive line. We can't get any sacks. Our D-line isn't good. Our secondary isn't good. And those are like the 3 most important positions: O-line, D-line, and secondary. So again, if you don't got a good O-line, D-line, or a good secondary, you're going to be able to score points off teams, right? So, those are the 3 spots that we need to improve the most. And, it's like we still got some good players on the squad on offense and defense, but not enough. See, Jolly, you and me know because we're NFC South guys, but, again, we have to prove ourselves week in and week out. Bucs with the blitz and a nice catch there by Kyle Pitts. He's having himself a game. First down, Falcons. And I really like the Falcons throwbacks with those red helmets that they used to wear in the 80s, and as well as the early 90s, late 80s. Dion wore that uniform, and then you obviously had that in the 80s before him as well. Like when Dion was a rookie. $10-yard pass from Cousins to Pitts. Parrish there with the tackle. Handoff. Jesus Christ. Algier. First down, Falcons. Algier is a nice RB2. Oh, I mean, we should have beat the Saints fucking, last week, so we wouldn't really be in a position so close with Carolina. But again, if you're not good on the O-line, we didn't have Wirfs last week, and you're not good on the D-line, you can't get sacks, and your secondary is weak, besides Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jamel Dean. It's rough. First down and 10 for Cousins. Man in motion. Handoff. Hit him. There we go. Getting me sweaty over here fucking watching this game. First down and 10 at the Tampa 25. Got about 5 minutes to go. No gain for Bajan, which is rare. Levante David with the tackle. Second down and 10 at the Tampa 25. And a nice catch there by Mooney. Rip it out. Fumble. Get it. Get it. Yes. How did Atlanta get that ball? Are you kidding me? There's like 3 Buccaneers on the ground. Christ. Jesus. Grab the damn football. Levante David doing Levante David things. Look at him. Grab the football, you bastards. You 3 Buccaneers there. You can't even grab the ball? God, fucking idiots. Christ. Unbelievable. How the hell did they not get that fumble? Cousins. Incomplete. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. Fucking so many Buccaneer players there. You're telling me not one of them could have got that ball? Unreal. Second and goal at the Tampa 10. 28-20 Bucks. 24 for 36 for Cousins. That's when you know your D-line can't do shit. When you got a quarterback that's aging like Cousins, playing like he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. Flag on the play. What's new? Sills with the penalty there with the false start. Second and goal at the Tampa 15. 18 penalties for the Falcons. What is this, the Raiders? First team to have 18 penalties since the 2019 Browns, and they still might end up winning this game over the Bucks. Come on, Tampa. Could have been false start there again. Cousins. Rip it out. And especially when you're a fan of defense and you're kind of known as a team that plays good defense and then you don't, there's nothing more gut-wrenching than that. Third and goal after that pass from Cousins to Werner. Third and goal at the Tampa 7. Shotgun set, trips right. Out of bounds. Out of bounds. Out of bounds. They say touchdown. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. That wasn't a motherfucking touchdown. Out of bounds. Kyle Pitts Sr. with the touchdown. I don't know about that. I don't think he got 2 feet down, did he? Let's look again. Bobble, bobble. Out of bounds. Shitty ass fucking secondary for the Bucs. Christ. Elbow out of bounds first. I got to pray for that. Elbow out of bounds first before the butt cheeks. Butt cheeks go down, but hopefully that elbow goes down out of bounds before the butt goes down. Jesus Christ, man. And I can't believe they called that a touchdown. I mean, knowing these refs, they're going to call that a touchdown. They called it touchdown on the field, so they don't stand, realistically. I'd be surprised if they overturn it. But it looks like the elbow is down before the butt cheeks, hit inbounds, but the booty. The elbow or the tuchus. And obviously with Drake London being out, Pitts and Bijan are getting a lot more opportunities here. Touchdown stand. Boo. Yeah, that's always the call on the field. And now they're going to go for a 2-point conversion. God, every game that I have to watch is like fucking like this. It's like, come on, Bucks. 2-point try here. Man in motion. Pitts. Shotgun set. Cousins, get him! Yes! Antoine Winfield Jr. actually getting to the quarterback. Gosh. One good defensive play in the whole entire game, but at least it happened there. All right, 28-26, and hopefully we can put up some points. And we're going to need a touchdown. Field goal only puts us up by 5, so... Oh, gosh, what a game. All right, Baker. Offensive line has not been good, but hopefully you'll be able to have enough time for the squad to get it done. Let's go. It's like we have so many good players on the team, but again, if your O-line and D-line stink, none of this shit fucking matters. Antoine Winfield Jr., stud. Vita Vea, stud. Mike Evans, stud. Baker, stud. Godwin, stud. Levante David, stud. Bucky Irving, stud. You can have so many studs on the team, but if your O-line and D-line stink and secondary, fucking A. This is the reality that I have to live in, but at least Mike Evans is back. Godwin is back. And hopefully Levante David and others can step up at some point. Buka, wake up. And maybe the only guy up front on the line that is worth a damn, and Tristan Wirfs. You got to do your job. Let's go. Oh, I can't believe they didn't recover the fumble. I can't believe that. All right, Tampa, come on now. And realistically, it's not like, Carolina or Tampa Bay would win a playoff game since we're the worst division in football. Same thing with the Ravens and the Steelers. Based on how they played this year, probably not very realistic that those teams would win one either. But somebody's got to win the AFC North and someone's got to win the NFC South, out of the two worst divisions this year. Come on, Tampa. I mean, it would be probably better if, the Niners, ended up making the playoffs rather than the Panthers or the Bucks. But, we'll see how it all kind of, works out and whatnot. I mean, Shanahan and Saleh have done a great job, also considering they have nobody on that defense that's a name, and they're still playing, pretty competitive football. I wish I had those guys as coaches in Tampa. Zane Gonzalez with the 65-yard kick. 27-yard return. First down and 10 at the Tampa 27. First down and 10. Baker, hands off. And Bucky is there. They definitely need to sprinkle in a little Rachaad White here late as well. Oh, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If they win it, 80%. Playoffs. If they lose, 55. And the Panthers really play the Bucs well, regardless of record. So it's going to be a fucking war. Caden Ellis with the tackle on Bucky. Second down and 4 at the Tampa 33 after that 6-yard run by Bucky Irving. Man in motion. Baker. Close to being offsides on that play, but Atlanta with the timeout. Third down and 3 after that 1-yard run there by Bucky at the Tampa 34. Yeah, and only if the Bucs beat the fucking Saints last week. It's like, how the hell are you going to let Shuck run for fucking 2 touchdowns? But again, we didn't have Wirfs that game, and it was like a torrential downpour. But look at that. Buccaneers, Seahawks, Buccaneers for the Panthers. That's tough. We got Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. So our, path is easier, so to speak. But again, when you don't got a good O-line, D-line, or secondary, who the hell knows? Panthers could easily win the division. Always the goddamn Saints, huh, Jolly? Always, man. Whether they're good or they're not, they always play us hard. It doesn't matter. Throw the records out the window. When you play teams in the division, even sometimes teams at the bottom, can end up, playing the game of their life against you, just for pride and to try to play spoiler. Third down and 3. Come on, Baker. Shotgun set. Baker, he's there. Chris Godwin. First down. Bucks. Thank God. Nice job, Baker. Creamsicle is back. Nice job, Godwin. First down for Tampa Bay. Move the chains. Nice job, Baker. First down and 10 at the Tampa 39. I mean, I don't care if we win this game by fucking 1 or 2, as long as we win. Oh, shit. You're on the road? Ay. It's a tough place to play, even when their record isn't good. I would know. And you would know. I mean, we're, NFC South boys. We get it. Baker? Jesus Christ. What was that? I mean, I feel like at this point, even though we love Bucky Irving, based off his size and the lack of blocking ability up front, you might be actually better off with Rachaad White and Tucker getting carries here late in the game. loss of 4. Bucky is just so small, Like, it's nice when he gets in between, the tackles and he ends up getting screen passes and he can dance and whatnot. But if you're going right up the gut, and you're a small back, unless your name is Jahmyr Gibbs, you're probably not going to do a whole lot, Like, you might want to go for a back that's a little bit more physical, up front with the body, upper body strength. And now they got Rachaad White in there. They must have got my message. Shotgun set on 2nd down and 14. Baker, pressure, blitz. He's open. Fuck. Incomplete. And intended receiver Emeka Egbuka offered with the big play there. 3rd down and 14. Oh. Come on, Bucks. 3rd down and 14 at the Tampa 35. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats, the best beats on YouTube. All right, come on, Baker. It's got to be Godwin or Evans, and this would be, nice to be able to have Cade Otton available, and he's been healthy all year besides this game, but Culp ended up getting the touchdown in his place earlier, but this has definitely got to be a Godwin or Mike Evans look. Get open, Godwin. Get open, Evans. Unless they got McMillan in there. 3rd down and 14. You have to assume Atlanta's going to blitz. Shotgun set for Baker. Blitz is coming. Baker. Get out of there, Baker. Fucking A, dude. Offensive line is terrible. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch? Yum, 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 yum. It's like you got all these amazing weapons that you can hand the ball off to or throw to, but you don't got no fucking time because that offensive line is goddamn garbage besides Wirfs. Fuck. Chief O'Chief with a $5. Appreciate you. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Another $5 holla on the dono train. Yeah, Bucky's from Oregon. Tez Johnson is from Oregon. And then obviously we have a lot of Huskies and Jalen McMillan, Vita Vea, Cade Otton, Devin Culp. So it's like we got a lot of Huskies and Ducks on the team, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Bucky played with Bo Nix. No, but again, it's not like the Buccaneers are Super Bowl contenders. We're pretenders. We're just trying to, make it, just like the Steelers and the Ravens and the Buccaneers and the Panthers. We're just trying to make it, for pride's sake, but, maybe the Ravens would have the best chance of winning a game if they were to, play well, but they just haven't played well this year. But, but they would probably have the best chance to win a playoff game if, out of the 4 teams, But again, Steelers, Ravens, Panthers, and Bucks haven't been consistent this year. And Bucks with the punt. And I don't like this. We're only up by 2. Fucking A, they kick a field goal, we lose. I don't like this at all. And again, if we had like a good pass rusher like Simeon Rice, I would feel good, but this is going to turn into a goddamn nightmare unless the defense can make a fucking play. Fucking A. Making Kirk Cousins look like a goddamn top 5 quarterback in the NFL with a shit-ass defense. Sons of bitches. Shotgun set. 1st down and 10. Jesus Christ. In this like soft Tampa 2 zone that we play, it's like they have 5 yards, away from the defender. Like, where are the goddamn defenders? Why are we so far away from every goddamn wide receiver and tight end? Bastards. If you really want to see me get worked up, you watch me when I call Bucks games or Ducks games. Jesus Christ. Especially me being a defensive-oriented fan, it's like... First down and 10 for the Falcons. Move the chains. Nice job by Sills with that catch. Shotgun set. Get him! There we go! It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And we might have got the football. Did we get it? Did we get the football? Who has it? Who's got it? Yeah! Who's got it? Tampa's got the ball. What the fuck is going on here? What kind of bullshit is that? It's a tie. It goes to the offense? What the fuck is this? This isn't fucking baseball going to first base? What the fuck, man? We had 4 fucking defenders on the fumble and not one Buccaneer could get the ball. And now we have a tie to get the football and it goes to the offense? Get the fuck out of here. What the hell is going on? Jesus Christ. Second down and 18. Get his ass. Cousins. God, I'm going to have a fucking brain aneurysm. Flag on the play. Jesus. Captain in the building. What's good? I've never seen so many weird calls and like bad luck, stressing me the fuck out. But just like I told y'all, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end are the most overrated positions in football. If you don't got a good O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and play calling, it doesn't fucking matter that I have Baker and fucking Bucky Irving and Evans and Godwin and all these amazing players if I can't get them the fucking ball. Come on, Bucks. Please. I mean, you go to Bajan or you go to Pitts. Even Sills has made some plays. And they got Mooney still. Remember, Drake London has been hurt. That was close to the play clock expiring. And then a little check down. Pitts is there. Get him! Gosh. Some of these motherfuckers need to learn how to goddamn tackle. They need to go to tackling university. 4th down and 14. Tick, 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 tick. Come on, Bucks. Shotgun set. 4th down and 14. Get him! Cousins. Jesus Christ. Did he catch it? A field goal and they're going to win the game now. This is unreal. Fuck, man. Can't beat the Saints. Can't beat the Falcons. Both of them eliminated. Flag on the play. Oh, a foul on the defense. Great. We lost. Game's over. We lost. This game's over. I mean, they got rid of Koo. Jesus Christ, dude. Have you guys ever heard of that play? Both guys have the ball and it goes to the offense. This isn't fucking baseball. I've never heard of that. Ever. And I've been watching football since 85. Ever. 1st and 5 on the Tampa 32. We need a miracle now. Screen pass to Mooney. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fire Todd Bowles. Get the fuck out of here. Get his ass out of Tampa. He stinks. Just fire the whole goddamn coaching staff. Fucking A. You have all these amazing weapons, but again, it don't mean nothing if your O-line, D-line, and your secondary are garbage. 1st down and 10. And it's not like, our special teams is good enough to block the kick to win the game. I wish it was, Fucking A. Anybody besides the Michigan coach that got fired for cheating on his wife. Yeah. That's just how it goes, man. Injuries, shitty play on the O-line and the D-line. Can't get a fucking sack. And it's one thing, it's like, you get a couple sacks, but it's like we can't even get fucking one. Like, that's how bad the D-line is. You can't even get one all game. And now the Falcons are more than likely, they did miss the field goal in week 1, and with Koo, right? And we won that game, when Baker had the 2-minute drill. But what are the chances of that happening twice in a season? Koo's no longer on the team, right? And they let him go. But what are the chances that they miss field goals in both games against the Bucs? Not likely. Third down and 10. Zane Gonzalez, 43-yarder. Kick is up. And that is good. Game over. And the Falcons win. Jesus Christ. 29-28. They're not gonna be able to do it 2 times in a season. Well, Jolly, looks like your Panthers are sitting in a great spot to win the division, man. And honestly, based on not being able to, stop anybody, and having a shitty O-line, D-line, and secondary, even though we have a lot of skill position players that are popular, if you guys end up getting it, you guys are going to be more entertaining, with Bryce and your defense. At least your defense can stop someone. Our defense can't stop a fucking nosebleed. And, man, I'm so disappointed, dude. Terrible. But congratulations to the Falcons for spoiling my season. But again, it's not over yet. But again, the Panthers got the Bucs twice and the Seahawks. We got the Dolphins and then the Panthers twice. So now it's starting to look a little bit better for Jolly. So, and again, you could actually get there. You guys have been playing better. We might have a better offense than you guys, but your defense is clearly much better. And guess what? Defense wins games. Defense wins championships. Stacks. Rex with the little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much, man. $10 for therapy. No, Baker didn't lose this game. Offensive line and the defense lost this game. Oh, that's brutal. All right, so we have no stream tomorrow, and then on Saturday we're going to do the Bucked Up LA Bowl, sponsored by Rob Gronkowski. Boise State versus Washington. The matchup at 5 o'clock on ABC Pacific time, so we'll be doing that. And then obviously we'll do Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. So, oh, man. But congratulations to your Panthers, man. I mean, it's still not over. We got a few weeks to go, but you guys are definitely in the driver's seat. And, fucking A, man, if we can't beat two teams that have already been eliminated in the Saints and the Falcons, we don't deserve to make the playoffs. So, again, I'll be rooting for you guys to do well. It's just not when you guys play us in the regular season, but if we get eliminated, I'll be rooting for you guys to, pull off some miracles. So I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I appreciate all the love and support. Jolly getting us started off with a 20, and he's been a real force on the Dono train within the last week and a half, and we really appreciate it. Megan with a $5, Sarah with a $5, Megan with another $5, Jolly with another $10, Chief with a $5, and Jolly with a $10. Jolly has been the MVP lately, and I appreciate that very much. TJ, thanks for coming in late and helping out with everything that you can. Final score, Falcons 29, Buccaneers 28. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream and my fucking meltdown. And again, I'll see you guys on Saturday night at 5 o'clock Pacific for the Bucked Up LA Bowl between the Boise State Broncos and the Washington Huskies. Go Huskies. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.